PR Connections Radio presents this episode of the PR Connections podcast is brought to you by Classy Communications PR and Advertising. Classy Communications provides public relations and marketing solutions for businesses, professionals, and nonprofit organizations. They can deliver the true meaning of your business with press releases, social media marketing, web development, email marketing, book publishing, and much more. Wherever your potential clients are, they can help you connect with them. Visit classycommunications.net to learn more about their suite of services that can help your business stand out from the rest. Classy Communications is your solution for business success.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the third annual PRConnectionsRadio.com marathon for Memorial Day. My name is Guy Dawson. I'm the founder of PR Connections and your host, and just unbelievably excited to be participating in another one of these marathons. It has been quite a journey. We are now in the fifth year of broadcasting here at PR Connections Radio, and what an unbelievably adventurous experience this has been. And these marathon events, I've greatly appreciated all of your participation in them, the participation of all the podcasters on our network. It's just a great way to celebrate the holiday weekend. I hope you are all enjoying yourselves, by the way, over this holiday weekend. Have a happy Memorial Day. Want to honor all of the veterans out there, those who lost their lives serving our country. You will never be forgotten, and we like to celebrate the great service that people have made for this country with this podcast marathon, and also to give all of you an opportunity to see the shows that we have on our network. I know we have a lot of regular viewers and listeners out there who have certain shows that you watch, but with this marathon, we give you a little taste of all of the different shows that we have on our network. And people have really given us a lot of excellent feedback through the years about how much they enjoy being able to learn about different podcasts through this marathon. The origins of this network during all of these marathon events that we do, I like to give a little background on what PR Connections Radio is all about, how we got started. Essentially, back in 2025, I had a vision of being able to create a digital community. This was during COVID, which was a challenging time for so many of us. A lot of us were on lockdown. Literally, we couldn't move around the way that we were accustomed to moving around. And I had this vision of developing an online network with a huge media component to it, and creating something that gave podcasters an opportunity to share their visions, the shows that they had thoughts about, and that we would create a network that would foster their creativity and the shows that they wanted to develop. And those were essentially the origins of PR Connections Radio. We started out with just a few shows. I personally have been in broadcasting since 2011. And I had a couple of other people who I knew who also wanted to get messages out, share things about passions that they had through podcasts. And so we started launching these podcasts. And I mean, it was around Memorial Day of 2025, maybe a little bit later in 2020, when we began this network. And here we are 5 years later. I believe we've got 13 different shows on the network now. We have shows almost every day of the week. And it's just been as I mentioned, just a thrilling ride over these years of developing a media platform. For being an entrepreneur, I have personally been an entrepreneur since I was 11 years old. And the thing that I've discovered through my entrepreneurial journey, so we're looking at a 43-year entrepreneurial journey that I've been on. So many, many years of developing businesses. And I can say with all sincerity that the development of PR Connections Radio in so many ways is a culmination of a lifetime of developing certain skill sets for me. I have a pretty extensive journalistic background, and the development of this network, along with running a public relations and advertising company, our growth as a network, the things that we're doing to build this podcast-oriented platform. I really feel that this network is just a culmination of it all. It's like being a proud papa, right? I have a son, and I remember the day that I held him in my arms for the first time, cut the umbilical cord. There is a feeling of undescribable feeling. All of us out there who are parents know what I'm talking about, that you have. And in a lot of ways, I feel that way about PR Connections Radio. It is a baby that was birthed back in 2020, and it's just growing. So it's a 5-year-old now. Literally, we have taken something from scratch and built it into a network that offers great programming. As I had mentioned before, just the opportunity to be a platform to support the success of these podcasters, to provide outstanding entertainment for you. Just being a part of this and the development of it has just been unbelievably rewarding. So I know you're all going to enjoy this marathon today. We've got a host of shows on the network that we're going to be showcasing. We've got our first show that's coming up in a few minutes, is going to be one of our newer shows called Liberating Menopause. And that's Lisa Vasquez. She'll be coming on the air very soon. She has an interesting topic that she discusses on her podcast. It's all about menopause and the experience that women have throughout their lives. Menopause is the end stage of it all, but biologically, what women go through from the time they begin menstruation, even before they join menstruation, one of the things that Lisa talks about is that whole journey. And when she approached me about wanting to bring a podcast like that to the network, I felt that there was so much relevance in it, just because women actually experience it biologically. But even for us men, being involved with women throughout our lives, our mothers, our daughters, our wives, girlfriends, and all the other women that we have in our lives who are experiencing the journey towards menopause, it's something that relates to everyone. And so really looking forward to her podcast that will be coming on in a few minutes. And we have so many others that you're going to be experiencing today. Sunday morning chat series with Jesse Oakley III. We've got our one of our longtime podcasters who's been on the air, which is Ian Rakelli. He's going to have Vegas Hockey Hub. Ian has been an instrumental part of this network over the last, I guess, probably 3 years that Ian has been consistently running his podcast on the network. So we're looking forward to having his show on the air, and today, and so many others. Again, people, one of the things that I'm greatly enjoying about this journey is the feedback that I receive from you all in the chats that we receive, the feedbacks that I get via email. By the way, we want to encourage all of you, please go to PR for those of you who are listening or watching or over on YouTube, is please subscribe, and we'd love to send you notifications about all the different shows that we air here at prconnectionsradio.com. But some of the chat that we receive in our different messaging platforms is always encouraging as well. It gives us a lot of great feedback on how we can improve the things that we do. Just hearing about your thoughts on all the different shows that we have on the network. It's just fascinating as we've grown, is that we get more and more of this consistent feedback from all of you via these chats. So I want to encourage all of you, you're watching these shows, and we greatly appreciate when you talk about the elements of the shows in the chats. So for those of you who are watching these shows regularly, if you're watching this marathon today, I would like to encourage all of you to give us feedback on what worked well for you, what didn't work well for you. When you're developing things, feedback is so valuable. It allows us to become the network that we want to become. And again, we've had 5 years of being on the air. We've grown immensely over that time. But I personally feel like we're just scratching the surface of the value that we're going to be able to bring to all of you through the podcast on this network. And your feedback is so critical and valuable. And again, helping us to be able to sharpen our sword, as we say. When you're developing something, for me, it's always about how can we get a little bit better and a little bit better. This is us, our team, me, along with our team of people that we have working behind the scenes to develop these podcasts. That's where we always are. We're always working on how to make it better. And ultimately, we want to make it better so that we provide higher quality content for all of you. So your feedback is extremely valuable. So please, if you're watching us on YouTube or Facebook or LinkedIn or any of the other social media platforms that we're streaming on today, Twitch as well, your feedback is so valuable for us. One of the elements since we had our last marathon, which was it was January 1st, so we always have our marathon at the first of the year. Back in January, we had just rolled out an element of our network that I think is so valuable and essential and so listener and viewer focused, specifically listener focused. And that is that we are starting to stream all of these podcasts on a bunch of audio sites. So there's a total of 17 different audio streaming sites where you can now go to listen to the PR Connections shows, all the different shows that we have on the network. So some of the more prominent ones that we podcast stream on the audio side are Spotify, Amazon Music, and Apple Podcast. But then there are so many others, such as iHeartRadio. We have Podcast Chaser. We have Deezer. All these different platforms where you can go and not only watch our shows, as so many of you, most of you right now, you're watching a video stream, but you can also, for those of you who listen to podcasts, what we've discovered in the 5 years that we've been developing this network is that there's so many different ways that people connect with information nowadays. Podcasting being a very prominent way. And sometimes for many of you, you love to watch the video aspect of it. I know myself personally, I watch a lot of videos, but there are times when I'm doing things and I don't really have the time to actually watch videos. And so for those of you out there, you get up in the morning, you're getting ready to go to work, you're getting your day started, you have your favorite podcasters out there that you like to listen to. We wanted to create opportunities for you to be able to connect with your favorite podcasters on our network and listen to them. And that's why the audio streaming aspect of PR Connections is becoming so prominent. And throughout the day, I'm going to be mentioning different platforms that you can find our podcasts on. But we want to encourage you all to go to your favorite. Specifically, I know people have their own favorite platforms that they listen to audio streaming through. I know Spotify is a very prominent one where many, many people listen to Spotify, and that's why I sort of focused on it. But I know I also listen to our podcasts on a variety of different platforms. So they are available. You can listen to Dana Does Voices. You can listen to Liberating Menopause. We Have the Power, the PR Connection show that I'm going to be doing later on today on these different audio streaming podcasts. And so one of the things that you're going to be seeing throughout the year is a lot more of us promoting that aspect of our network, is the fact that you can also listen. Podcasting to me has become sort of like a new version of universities that I know myself. I watch a lot of podcasts. I listen to a lot of different podcasts, and I get this feedback from so many of you. This is where you get your information nowadays, is via the University of Podcasting, because you've got so many people. I know on our specific network, we've got talented people with great messages, stories to share. These interviews, the people that they bring on to be interviewed also are bringing a lot of interesting perspectives on things that you wouldn't get other than the fact that you tune into your favorite podcaster. For instance, Brian Gardner, who is the host of We Have the Power, one of the podcasts that's been on our network for a very, very long time. He's actually one of the founding podcasts here on our network. Some of the feedback that I get from people about the perspectives from education to politics that he presents on that show, it's really interesting to see the way that people perceive the information that he shares. And so for me, there's a podcast revolution that's going on in this country and around the world. By the way, via these different sites that you can listen to our podcasts on the audio side, we are able to track who is downloading all of our different podcasts. And literally, the shows on our network are being downloaded in countries all over the world. There's probably at least 35 or 40 different countries that we are directly able to track as having listeners, people who are actually listening to these podcasts. It just shows that podcasting is a worldwide phenomena that's not going anywhere. And for us, it's all about being on the cutting edge of this. We want to provide information that educates you, that entertains you. We've got a lot of different shows that are into development with different topics. And again, your participation is what this is all about. It really is. This network, as I mentioned before, is really tailored for your growth and your success. We're just hoping that you tune into these different shows and you feel that you take away something that enhances your life. In particular, with us in the development of PR Connections Radio, another valuable aspect of it has been these relationships that we've developed with the people who run podcasts on our network. And as I had mentioned before, I know a lot of you out there have specific people that you tune into to get your information as it relates to podcasting. And so for us, the relationships that we have as a digital community with individual podcasters is just so valuable and important. And for me personally, having a podcast, running a network where we have a lot of podcasters, I think that the celebration of the podcaster, the person who's really willing to get out here, put content together, deliver it to all of you on a regular basis, provide the entertainment and the education that's so critical, so important in the world that we live in now. I think that they should be celebrated, and that's what we're doing specifically with this marathon today. When you think about the old way, so the tagline for PR Connections is that we are the voice of new media. And being the voice of new media, we are taking sort of a old school concept, which is media. So media has been around for a very long time in other forms, more traditional forms. And for us, we're taking a medium by having a network. So for those of you that's been watching television throughout your lives prior to the internet, we know that in the old days, you had a few options. I remember, I'm old enough, been on the planet long enough to remember when you only had a few options in terms of being able to watch television. So there were there were three major networks when I was a kid, or when I was a young person coming up. You had an option of three major networks, and maybe you had a few local television channels that you could watch as well. But you were very limited in the amount of channels that you could even watch content on. And then in the early 80s, of course, cable TV became prominent, and that gave us a lot more options. Those of us that were around back then, that was really an eye-opener when cable TV became prominent in the early 80s, because you just all of a sudden, if you became a subscriber to a cable network, now you had MTV, you had CNN, and so many other cable channels that you could tune into on a regular basis. So that went on throughout all of the 80s, all of the 90s, and then later in the 90s is where you had this whole dynamic of the internet, which when I first started to kind of pay attention to the internet personally was probably around the mid 90s. And I said, whoa, there's a lot of potential here. And I wasn't looking at it at that time from a media perspective, just the fact that the amount of information, even back in the late 90s, mid 90s, the amount of information that was available to you, in my lifetime, I had never seen of the access that we had to information just dramatically improved. And so I said, well, this is really going to become something prominent. I can see it on down the line. Well, the internet grew. All of us started to have more access. And from a media perspective, as we got further into the 2000s, me personally, when I started doing broadcasting in 2011, I could see the future. There was already a lot of internet radio stations that were being established at that time. YouTube, I think the function of YouTube was a lot different back in the early 2000s than it is, of course, now, where YouTube has literally become a huge source of information. It's become its own network, its own body. And I am a huge, huge supporter of YouTube and what they do. And most of the content that I watch on a regular basis comes from YouTube. I love the sharing. I love the perspectives that people bring to YouTube. And so you had these internet radio stations that were starting to pop up. Of course, podcasting became really valuable when Apple started to introduce iPods. And so throughout these 2000s, we've had this evolution, this growth in being the way that people receive information via the internet. Then around 2014, 2015, I know I personally got involved in my first internet television station, which sort of was holding on to the traditional component of media, which is that you go into a studio and record the show. But it was a smaller studio than the one that you would traditionally go into. But there was that same element of it. And I really enjoyed my opportunity. There was a network that I was a part of. I hosted a show called The Guy Dawson Show at WCOBM. And shout out to Gene Woods, a fantastic guy, great friend of mine, big-hearted person that had a vision. He saw a lot of this before it came to be. And with that network, doing that internet television show, it opened my eyes to a lot of things. The technology made a lot of shifts as the 2000s moved on, and it essentially removed the need for a physical studio. Facebook Live started to be prominent, I guess, around 2016 and 2017. And so now you had these live streaming opportunities that were developed by the social media platforms. That allowed you to be able to get your messages out to people directly. Again, a lot of times back then it was just directly through Facebook or YouTube or any of these others, right? The streaming became very popular. And again, for me, it all really came together when the technology was created that allowed you to stream on multiple social media platforms, because the presence of people, specifically on social media. I mean, you've got billions of people who are on the internet, but specifically social media, the prominence of it and how it grew over the course of the 2000s. Now you have this growth in media, different platforms that you can stream from, and then a growth of social media, along with, for us, prconnectionsradio.com is the hub of all of this. So we greatly enjoy the opportunity to come to you on these social media platforms, because we know that that's where you'll get a lot of your information. However, ultimately for us, our independence comes in our ability to be able to house all of these streams on our website, which is prconnectionsradio.com. I want to encourage all of you out there. I know many of you are watching us on YouTube or LinkedIn, Facebook right now, but I want to encourage all of you to go over to prconnectionsradio.com, because that's where you can literally go and binge watch our shows. We've got hundreds and hundreds of hours of content. All the shows that we have on the network are housed at prconnectionsradio.com. So it's this blending of an absolute explosion of social media that we've had over this network, along with an explosion of of the internet, and then the growth of media for ordinary people like me, someone who's not a celebrity, to be able to develop something like this. All of our podcasters, they're just normal people who have stories that they want to tell. And so for us being able to create a vehicle here that allows them to be able to tell their stories, and for all of you to be getting this amazing information, this is the essence of it all. And when we do one of these marathons, I always like to kind of circle back and share with all of you what our vision is, what it is that we're working on and wanting to accomplish with this network. So thank you all again for tuning into the marathon. I think you're going to enjoy the content that we will share today. And my first guest, I guess she will be here in just a second. All right, so we're going to take a short break here to honor one of our sponsors, and we'll be right back with the first interview that we're going to have, and it'll be with Lisa Vasquez, and her show is Liberating Menopause. So give me 1 second here, and see you in a second.
This podcast is brought to you by Envision U. Envision U has discovered how to impact spirit, body, and soul with spray technology in just 30 seconds. With Envision U, you can achieve optimal health and start living the life you have always dreamed of. Use the promo code envisionu.com/VernDix to take control of your health naturally. All
right. Well, I am back, as I had mentioned, with Lisa Vasquez. She is the host of Liberating Menopause, one of the newer shows on our network. Welcome, Lisa. You and I haven't gotten together in a while.
Thank you so much. And I really love the idea of how you did bring this broadcast together to give us a voice for that ordinary person, as you said, because this is a voice that I'm speaking for a lot of women. And I never thought I could have this dream come true, to do as I had said, that one day I will make sure that I could bring out their conversations and exploit more about what's really happening with us women in all these changes, because the structures need to change. And it's exciting to have this opportunity to have that voice for them. And, someday I really hope they all get to hear this and know this and see what I've done to create that voice for them. Thank you.
Yes, when you and I were talking about this, Lisa, and your concept of this podcast that you wanted to develop, for me, it was an eye-opener. And an eye-opener in a way that, as a man, we're going through life. Yes, we have experiences with menopause. It doesn't happen to us personally in the way that it does with women, but it's just something that unless you're dealing with it directly, it's not it wasn't for me. But as you started to describe your movement and the education that you wanted to provide to people, it was as clear as day how important it is.
Thank you. And that was what was most important. It was just my introduction with you, the conversation, and how you felt it and received it. And you understand the passion that I really have for this. And it's been bottled up for so many years. And now, going through all these movements of my changes in life, career-wise, trying to advance to this point, I didn't really realize. I knew I loved talking, but I didn't know I needed to put it to a source. And when I did, this is what happened. And this is I just love every week knowing I have a cool conversation to speak, and things that have been so totally shifted under the carpet can come out now and stay out this time.
So what's your experience been like? You've been on the air for a couple of months now. You've gotten to do these podcasts. I know you do interviews, you do monologues. Tell us what's it been like being a podcaster?
It's exciting because it's just talking to my friends all day long, but really, to the world. You could look at past journals that I have written that someday I had hoped I could talk to the world. I didn't know that it could be possible, and here you are all these years later. I come from the 80s, so we didn't have a voice like this. So as I'm planting these seeds to see how exciting it is, I see people doing this, and it just looked like it was unachievable, unreachable, and that comes back to a cultural history of, you're in that standard life performance of following the trail of education, having a good marriage, career, retire, grandchildren. Not that a woman can be who I am today speaking. And liberating menopause of all subjects, the heart of our movement, our bodies, everything. It's great. It's exciting.
And what has the feedback been like so far? I mean, I know in our messages we get feedback about your content. As far as the people, I know you've got a community that you are working with on this, that follow this and are supporters of yours. What's that been like?
That's really been exciting to see how they reach out in the conversation of like thanking you, for instance, of suggesting having this podcast. That one statement meant so much because, wow, for that one woman to actually say that, and so many other women, this is a big conversation that they're excited to hear about. As I speak, there's 82% of women that really want to really make this happen. And then there's a 72% that are afraid of speaking out. They don't know how, they don't know how to, get past this stigma and the myths of, this conversation should just be hidden and never talked about. So to hear these things and when you just bring up the conversation, you kind of get a funny look at yourself. You look at you kind of, really? Because I said the word, but then all of a sudden it's a conversation and it really grows from that moment of just that word, menopause. So it's exciting, very exciting from the women.
Yeah, I talk about the stigma, Lisa, and one of the reasons why I felt connected to you in terms of bringing this show on the air is why would there be a stigma about a natural human occurrence, right? The cycle of women, menstruation, all the way to, this is something that's happened as long as there's been human beings. And I just always wondered, like, why is there a stigma behind something that's as natural, that produces life, right? This is the beginning of the process of all of us who are on this planet even being here. So removing the stigma, I just never understood why there was a stigma behind it in the first place.
That's exactly why I want to empower this and change that conversation, because the gift that we're given to create this life, connecting to the cosmos in that moment of the bonding of the man and woman. So he's a big part of this, and this that's a connection. And all you have to do is, as long as you're nurturing that nest, that you're growing, that you're developing for the future, it's a beautiful thing. But it always, because of the burden of blood and the sloppiness that it can be, that's how it was said. And, but it's a woman, and it's just like any other bad process we have, in changes of, if you had a problem in your oral health or something, there's a change, right? You're going to have, say, a cold sore on your face, cold sore, so it's a cold sore, and we live with that, right? This is a natural biological process, and and that's why teaching these young girls, as I mentioned, I had a new book that came out, A Girl in the Red. It's to really empower her now, that I don't want them to be ashamed of this, because that good energy and positive energy is what enforces our lives to become so much more brilliant in this world. Instead of, as we grow, like it's like a flower, and all of a sudden we start to wilt because we're coming into that age. All of a sudden you're 47 years old. You want to advance in your career and you can't because you're a woman. Now you step down, and now you're confused, because you're a woman. That's why, because of the changes. So, how they can first put their suits on to walk in that boardroom. It's crazy, but there's so much more empowering when you're confident in this walk of yours. And I could only say that because of how women directed me through my life to bring me that confidence. I didn't know. I was 20, they were 50. I really didn't know what they were teaching me. And it was just really great news for me.
Yeah, and another thing during that conversation, Lisa, that was interesting to me is the title of it is Liberating Menopause. So right off the bat, I'm thinking, okay, actual menopause is what the focus of this is going to be, until you started talking about the fact that you're working with young girls even before they menstruate. I mean, this is something throughout their lives, right? That the whole educational process is, this is how you're right. This is a lifelong journey, and your empowerment of women over the whole course of their lives.
Yes. And when you say that, this is a really cool thing. I haven't mentioned it yet, but I could say it today. So I created these empowering purses because in the past we were only given hygiene things to go to the restroom with and take care of ourselves, right? But it's an empowering purse that has all kinds of cool things in it, different size pads, a journal, a pen, jewelry for the confident closet. This little girl, when it's time, she's going to get the empowering purse to move on, not just how we were presented with it. Okay, here, hide this, keep it in your pocket and go to the restroom. So it's really exciting, because liberating is through conversations, right? And the only way it can change is if we keep talking about it and others speak of it also, because this shouldn't be hidden anymore. We're the structure of the world today in employment and labor working. And so women need to be, the world needs the structure now for us instead of this manly structure. It's been great, but things have changed for us. So.
Well, I'm going to exit the stage now for Lisa. So please welcome Lisa Vasquez and the Liberating Menopause podcast.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much. That was a great conversation because Guy is correct. I don't always get to talk with him. And so speaking on liberating menopause, this is exactly what it's all about. My life growing up, I want to tell you just a little bit about the radiology life. And this is kind of where the structure of building health into our bodies came from, because there's so much of, destruction. And as life we developed more. I started in the 80s, but as the 90s and 2000s came, more disease and destruction came in. And this is so much of importance because you always have to wonder how can this keep happening? And there's so many ways that you get to look at the body from the inside out. And when you can see the changes that need to take on inside, this is where it all happens. But we're used to just trained really to see the outside. I mean, nobody really tells you, hey, look out for your gut health, or, make sure you're taking care of your kidneys or your liver. We're not structured that way. We think that those things are for the doctor to take care of, when in fact, liberating yourself in this world with health is by you taking care of it, you being the doctor, you knowing yourself, you coming to terms that if I'm feeling a small ache in my hand or something, I better study it a little more, studying your life in action, because that could be an accumulation of something that can build up later. But in fact, in the past, we've always released it and continued on. And, they once told me that if you talk to a woman from war times and told her something about menopause, she'd kind of laugh at you because they didn't experience it like that. They just worked right through it. And sometimes, I don't know if it was cultural, environmental, really, I'm not sure how they really got past it, because there's so many signs and symptoms that women carry through, and how this works for them without feeling that. I don't know if they became numb because of the life and times that they were living in, but it was such a hushed, secret that today we're out there more. And those women were more behind closed doors because a lot of women weren't working. We didn't work yet. And it wasn't until we started working that more disease and destruction started coming into our lives. In my past podcast, I've talked about the pelvic floor. I mean, for instance, so for a long time, at least 40 years, women have been sitting down doing jobs at keyboards, and now we're looking at screens, and now we're on the phone and different things like this. And it's an accumulation, but they're not seeing it as a condition of what's being affected by our hormones. And in fact, every day we're shifting, every day the hormones are different. And so the healing process can stop for a moment, as you know, right when you hurt your wrist. Carpal tunnel, 3 times more than what a man has because of the fluctuations of hormones during the healing. And there's so many different things that happen to us in today's world. And so now it's now more pronounced. And feeling that with your lifestyle, with your family, home care, all these things that a woman has to do. It's not just focused in the home anymore. It's out here. And how do they cover it up? How do they conceal this identity that they're having these shifts and changes? This isn't something that we should keep hiding, because it's part of our process. It's part of our life, and it's part of what we have to go through. And so if nobody sees it that way, then we're always going to be hiding it, and we're not going to become liberating. And that's the whole goal for this new generation. I mean, even our younger generations right now in their 40s, they're really reaching to find more healthier ways to live. This isn't something our generation did, because we were just living. And unfortunately, we fell into a lot of traps that put a big disconnection in our lives in some type of health problems, such as diabetes or high blood pressure, or body movement, being stuck, unable to move your bodies as easy as you mature. There's so many different things, but the point being is that, if we can talk and share the stories more, we can hear more about it. I mean, we need, in employees, we need to have some type of feedback. There should be something just to see if anybody's really, really speaking about this anonymously. Somebody, where that you can start the conversation, but in a private way. You open up that box. It's just like a suggestion box, and you're going to see so many different things that are happening. Nobody has to put their names on it, but at least you can have that feedback from the women in the place. And even men might, have a question about this, because they have wives, they have daughters, they have, sisters and people who have gone through that. So they might have some questions that can get answered. We totally are not alone in this anymore. We've grown in these families, and everybody has watched this happen for years and years and years. They took us from a history of it was like an evil sign. Now they brought it into, okay, they stopped abusing us because of the changes. I mean, old history, they really did not understand this. And so women were challenged by this their whole lives. And I was recently talking about menstrual cycles. This challenge starts in our lives when we're young, because our little girls go through it, because they're hiding it and they're concealing it and they're scared to talk about it. So by talking about my book, bringing that out, hoping these little girls are going to really have this conversation. I was talking to a grandfather, and it was so interesting because he bought my book. He's sharing this with his grandkids. He's a really up-to-date kind of grandfather. He likes feeding them from his yard. He grows his plants and fruits and vegetables. So he's really nourishing them and teaching them different things. And I thought, wow, how cool is that? When these little girls grow up, they're going to hear the story. When they say, who told you, or how did you hear about this? My grandfather. And that was just so touching for me, because he was such a great guy in this conversation. And when he brought that to me and said that, it was so exciting to know one conversation is going to be from a grandfather. And that little girl is going to grow up with such confidence, because, I mean, of course, the mother will be involved, the grandmother will be involved. I'm sure they're going to hear it, right? But it was him. He wanted to be able to do this. And that was so exciting. Another woman, she can't wait to get the book so she can share it with her daughter. And she has 2 daughters and she has a son. And, I was telling her, connect him into the conversation, especially because they're so young. And this way they have a better understanding that these little girls, little boys can be pretty hard on little girls about this. So, but really making it that natural process. Little boys have that natural process. We don't pick on them or even bring it up. It's such a hidden conversation, but they go through changes. So by liberating this and reinforcing this comes through those open conversations. And I'm hoping that that's what this book is going to start. There'll be more books because there's a lots of trails of navigating this pathway to bring you into the abundance of what our healthy life can bring us if we manage it, we nourish it, we move it, we meditate on it. If we do all these things to keep us healthy and monitor ourselves, because every day, as I said, we're always changing. It's hard to actually identify yourself. I still can't because I'm always evolving. I always want to keep growing. I mean, before March, I wasn't a podcast host, but here I am today. And this is so exciting. That was kind of my birthday in February. So this was a real gift. And to think that I evolved to this place, I mean, and to see so much more to come out of this, because I want to fuel this movement for women. I really want to wake them up. I want corporations to wake up, bring in this starter pack of building foundations, gaining feedbacks. I have in my company, Modern Menopause Consultancy, this is what all that is about. This is why I brought into that conversation of starting that consult, because this needs to be taken into the workplaces. Everybody that came to me in the X-ray department were coming from, they all had a job, they all had work, but there was a lot of breaking. And, so you follow the trail, they came out of home, now they're working, now these are changes. And, okay, so here's kind of where it started. But if we nurture the workplace more for women, giving it more of a female structure, here's another, for instance, because I come from the healthcare system. In one of my jobs, I was uniforms, and they were all the same. We all wore the same uniforms. They were all baggy. They all kind of represented pajamas. To me, I wasn't confident in them because I worked with women, and I always felt like I'm greeting the women, but I just didn't look womanly to bring them in. And I had to, but I wasn't happy with it. There's no confidence in the same kind of scrubs that don't give you form in your body, that don't give you comfort in the changes that women are going to go through. And then, because a lot of them are tie string with elastic bands, as they expand, because we're in those 8 to 12 hours, depending what your day is like, you get used to that. A long time ago, we would have pants that were buttoned, zippered, and we were able to contain ourselves and control our weight and see that. But now, the extension of all these different uniforms, and because women, we work there all day long, we just grow with it, and it shows, and we don't want that. We should be able to be womanly and wearing more fashionable clothing to represent that medical system with confidence for the patients who aren't feeling so well. So that was just kind of one of my, for instance. Other things are like some of the uniforms in hotels, or say, for instance, they're tight, they're snug. Women are having hot flashes, and this is what they have to wear. I always bring up that window situation because where I was working at, there was a lot of girls that sat at that window, and not considering the fact that what if they are going through changes and they have to sit at that window? That's their place all the time. So restructuring, just considering some of these things. The leaders, especially the women leaders who are in this position, that's what's important, because if you could bring more to them. They may have made it through the top, but a lot of them had to go through a lot of challenges. And that's why it should be so important to share these stories with the younger generation and the challenges that they might come up in this division of work that they're working in, because this woman, whoever is that senior position, has already gone through those challenges. She worked in all 5 departments, and now here she is on top of them all, right? But she knows the pain or little challenges that the body will have as they develop through all these different departments. So just giving them insights, building up what could possibly happen. Nobody starts to work out their bodies and realize that pelvic floor, you're losing blood flow to the pelvic area. Nobody's thinking of that. So elevating desks, I mean, that should be the future, where the desks can go up and they can go down, not just stationary anymore, the way they've always been, because we want to live and stay in our jobs and be there and work through it. I mean, a lot of women dedicate their lives to that, but 47-year-old, she had to leave her job because she was trying to get that CEO position and realized, she wasn't going to get it. She's a woman, and corporate wasn't going to let her in there. So she left the job and had to go redesign herself. She had to go reconstruct her life and try to figure out which way to go next. And a lot of women from that point on like to start their own businesses because now they're in control and they know what they can do to make it easier for the next generation. I have a publisher, and she's been brilliant at that. When she started publishing as a young aged woman, she was cosmetology girl first, and then she wanted to write a book, and she saw all the changes and challenges that women go through and things that weren't correct for a woman. So she opened and started her own. She's a very big industry today, and it's exciting, and soon I'll be having her on the podcast because we want to talk about visions. I mean, ladies, in all this conversation, the work, everything that we flow through, do we forget about our dreams that we had when we were young, even though, the family style came in, the kids came in, your in-laws came back home? We need to set up a menopause cafe, something that we can have these discussions in and talk about that vision that you planned, because the careers are only for a certain part of your life, but what happens afterwards? Before, women just stopped and they didn't proceed on. They were just happy to be home. But today's generation, women want more. They want so much more. And this is what Liberating Menopause is all about. I want to help you make those dreams come true. I want to give you those pathways to bring out that vision in yourself, in your jobs, every day that you're in those jobs, whatever position, where you're at right now in those moments today, whether it's just being at home, there's always so much to learn that you're going to incorporate that somehow into tomorrow's day and the next day. And the vision just grows from there. And this is what evolution and evolving in women's life is all about. We stay nourished, we keep evolving, we develop, and we get to open our eyes and see big dreams and how we want it to look that day we step out. And I want it to look like that vision you have, but I have to remind you to pull that vision out, to bring that awakening in your heart, in your mind, in your body, and especially in your soul, because that's where it all lives. So by keeping yourself nourished, taking care of yourself, keeping that mental health. I always talk about sitting outside. That is a big charger for the body, and that really can bring in some good vibes and good waves. Thank you so much. Being here live today has been exciting for me. Liberating Menopause. I'm excited to see what more comes in the future as I help to continue fueling this part of the movement. So PR Connections, everybody on the team from behind the scenes that I don't get to meet everyone. Thank you so much for today. It's been an exciting journey with you, and I'm looking forward to our future. Thank you.
Wow, that was a mouthful there, Lisa.
Thank you.
A lot of very valuable information that you offered there.
Oh gosh, thanks so much. Because I never get this part of it after I finish the story. So it is exciting because I know in my heart what I talk about is just so real that I really want you to feel it and touch it, because it's there, So thank you.
Yes, being genuine. Again, when we talk about what this network represents, Lisa, I had my monologue earlier where I talked about why we are doing this and the evolution of it, and it's being able to tell a genuine story, like the one that you just right. It's about that's it. It's about, like I mentioned, real people telling real stories that relate to the everyday person's life. And again, there's a space for celebrity. I know we celebrate celebrities in our society a lot, and there's nothing wrong with that. But
No,
this is real life stuff
real
you're
life.
talking about, right? Day to day living for a woman, a daily life experience that you are giving a great education about.
Thank you. And I thank everybody, and especially all the women that planted a seed in me. I mean, if you saw how big the field is, I can't even show you how big it is in my heart. It's just so beautiful. And thanks again for the voice and for everyone who listens. Thank you.
All right. So, will you let everyone know when they can tune into Liberating Menopause?
So we're usually hosted on Wednesday mornings, 5 a.m. And it's exciting because I really want to be that wake up call in the morning. So I love the 5 a.m. slot so that I can catch you before all the rest of the noise comes in with, all these other banging sounds. I really want you to have this moment. And the way to work, wherever you're at 5 in the morning, getting ready, just listening and having that time to hear something that's going to feed the vibe for the day.
All right. Well, hey, all of you out there, please tune in to Liberating Menopause here at prconnectionsradio.com, the voice of new media. Of course, you can check her out on all the social media platforms. But when it all comes down to it, if you want to watch the archives of her videos to get this outstanding information that's going to help a lot of women and men, I believe. I love the story that you told about the grandfather and that great, right? Again, men experience this at a different level, but thank you so much for sharing that, because it's not that we're not concerned about it, right? We love our daughters, our wives, our mothers, and just a conversation. I love that piece that you talked about. Let's have conversations about things. That's how you grow. That's how you learn. That's how you make things better for people.
Right. Yes. That's why that was so touching, because, for him to tell me that, and, to know how concerned he was. And just like I said, just that one story written in my book about that story, that it's coming from a grandfather. And I'm looking forward to more grandfathers and men, to share this, to look excited and be part of this, because that's the fun of it. When you grow with your daughter for that, because normally they step back, right? And that's your mother's thing. But no, it's so cool when the little girl can see her daddy doing that, I think. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Well, keep up the great work, Lisa. We look forward to seeing you again at the next marathon. But again, for those of you, please tune in to Liberating Menopause on any of our video streaming platforms. And as I had mentioned before, all of our audio streaming platforms, specifically Spotify, because we know that that's a popular one, but we all have our choices. So you can always listen to Liberating Menopause on Spotify specifically. But before the end of the day, I'm going to give you all a list of the streaming platforms that you can also listen to Liberating Menopause on.
Thank you, prconnectionsradio.com. It's been a pleasure, everyone. Have a great Memorial Day. Have a great Memorial Day, and remember the service that's been given to us. Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. Well, all right. So we have our first show in the marathon that is now under our belts, Liberating Menopause. And you can, I know, watching Lisa when she does these podcasts, you can just see the passion for what it is that she does. And I am definitely someone who has had his eyes opened as a result of starting to work with her on this specific podcast. Again, everyday experiences in life, something that is so relatable to all of us, the women in our lives, the empathy, I think, especially being a man, more speaking on it, is that the more we learn, the more empathy we tend to have for others. And so, yes, please tune in to Liberating Menopause here at prconnectionsradio.com. Go to our website and you can watch the show, and you can also watch us on YouTube, watch us on Facebook, or listen to it on any of the audio streaming podcasts that we have out there. All right, so we've got a show that's going to be coming on in a few minutes that has become a real success story here at PR Connections. And I've been talking a lot about the audio streaming aspect today because of our growth. We're moving into a different lane in terms of the audio streaming. And one of the success stories that we've had since we've gotten started with this audio streaming has been thinking into results. The statistics that I've been seeing on the worldwide downloads of this show have just been phenomenal. And so I guess all of you out there are really interested in your thinking. And I know for me, the particular topic of being aware of how you're thinking is absolutely a valuable one. And so that is the next podcast that we are going to air here. How about we're going to take a minute here. We're going to honor another one of our sponsors. And when we come back, I'm going to speak with the hosts and stars of Thinking into Results. And we're going to have another podcast. So stay tuned. We will be right back.
Hey, business owners. Want to get your brand in front of thousands of locals in Vegas without blowing your budget on overpriced ads? Ready to boost your visibility? Use promo code PRTalk for an exclusive offer. Click the link in the description or contact 702-445-9488 to talk to our experts today. Vegas is watching. Make sure they see you.
All right. Well, welcome the hosts or the host. How are you, Sid? The host of Thinking into Results.
I'm really happy to be here. This is my third marathon, one last year and one at Christmas time. And it's great to get our word out on a special holiday, particularly Memorial Day. And I've got my co-host today, John Gage, who's a trained voice actor, and our guest. Our star today is Jeff Kist, and he's a longtime student of Thinking in Results, and he's got a fabulous story today. John?
Yeah, well, it's been great, as I had mentioned before, Sid, to watch the reaction that the world is having to Thinking into Results, specifically on the audio streaming side, although we do get quite a bit of feedback as well. Welcome, John, by the way, and Jeff to the to prconnectionsradio.com, the marathon. But it is to see that many people around the world who are listening to this podcast. The last time I saw the stats, you were at about 550 people who have downloaded this podcast in about 25 different countries around the world. It's been really interesting to see that, the interest. Why do the two of you think that this is of such interest to this worldwide audience?
Can I answer that?
Certainly.
Absolutely.
I think it's of interest because people are starting to realize that their thoughts mean something. Everybody goes, well, I think all the time. Well, yeah, you do, but do you intentionally think? And I think that's what we're showing them. If you intentionally think about your life, in not just making money, but improving your life, making things better, getting healthy. I mean, I think it's interesting because it's kind of taught out of us a little bit in school. And when you start learning, hey, I can change my life by thinking. I mean, I guarantee it's changed my life. If it wasn't for Thinking into Results, I would be dead and I wouldn't be marrying the love of my life. It's that simple. By using this program, it's changed my life for the better.
Thank you, John. I was having a conversation with Jeff earlier today, and it can be said different ways. My shortcut is be careful what you say after I am, because it's going to come looking for you. And Jeff has another way of saying it, of accomplishing your goals, getting what you want.
Yeah.
You have to refresh my memory.
Oh,
Inspiration comes to me through different words all the time.
Well, the other way is when you know what you want, you've got your goal and you've got it written down. We say carrying your goal card, saying it every day. You're thinking about it. Every time you're thinking about it, you're at that vibration of what you want. And the universe conspires to bring you all that you need. And it doesn't bring it to you all at once. On your journey, where it shows up.
The revelation that you can steer your, we're manifesting all the time. That's what a lot of people don't even know. You're manifesting, you are manifesting everything. So
100%.
by focusing on what you do want and not putting all your focus on what you don't have or unhappy with what you got, you're able to just kind of change your focus to the growth side of things. And I don't know if you want me to get into my story yet, but
well,
yeah, not quite, because I'm going to run out of here in a second, Jeff. Yeah, there is going to be a show here, actually, but that was great feedback, though, from the three of you. And Sid introduced me to the program, Thinking into Results, several years ago, and I've done a lot of professional and personal development over the course of my life. And I would say that Thinking into Results, just the concepts of, I've been aware of my thinking for a long time, but I think that the approach that Bob Proctor had to the awareness is unique. And so I've been definitely implementing a lot of the strategies that he's taught in this program. So it's great to see something that I'm engaged in to be so successful and that people are so interested in it. And again, you guys are making a difference. You really are. And it shows in the reach that you are having with this show. And we've barely scratched the surface, right, guys? There's a lot more great information I'm sure you're going to share with everyone.
I'm glad to hear about your success, Guy. I can hear it in your voice.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to exit stage left, and please welcome everyone to the Thinking into Results podcast. Go get them, guys.
Well, we're going to start with, all of a sudden I had a train of thought. One of the Thinking into Results, and this, you said this morning, Jeff. All we have to do is look outside, look at our world, what we have. All of that originated inside. Mm-hmm. And if we want to change the outside, we've got to change the inside, our thinking. And you've got a fantastic story. I greatly admire all your accomplishments working with Bob Proctor and Thinking into Results.
Thanks, Sid. I appreciate it. Yeah, I not everybody has to pick it up when I did, but I just happened to be, at some sort of a turning point in my life where, for a lot of us, COVID was a defining moment. And, found myself either trying to positively work through it, and found Bob Proctor and Mary Morrissey actually at the same time. But it just allowed me the space, COVID, to slow down and just look at what I was doing and look at the results I currently had. And I just changed my focus to, giving myself permission to dream a little bit and not coming up with the reasons right away why you can't have it.
So can I add? So let's start a little bit. What was your life like? Just a little example of what it was like before, say, you were introduced to Thinking into Results. What you just tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, for sure. Like for many, I was in the car business. 12-hour days, very high stress, fast pace, running around. I achieved what I thought in my world was success. I had a house, I had a car payment, I had a house payment. I got to take 2 vacations a year. You know what I'm talking about. It's the status quo life that a lot of people feel that that's where it's at. Or
so you were basing it on what we were taught in school and what success is: trading time for money, having the house, the car, the American dream. So when you were introduced to Thinking into Results, how did that change your thinking process? How did it help you realize that thinking is going to make your life better? And how did it do that?
There's a quote that Henry Ford said that really kind of like shook me to the core, because he said thinking is one of the hardest things to do. It's the hardest work you will do. That's why so few people take part in it, because coming up with a goal or a vision that seems out of your reach, your natural instinct is to say why you can't get it, instead of putting it out to the universe that this is what I want. I don't know how I'm going to get there, but I'm going to work towards it till I get it. So I didn't really know that. And through certain programming, education, whatever, your outside circumstances, you think that's what your paradigm is. And I'm sure you guys have talked about paradigms.
Yes, we have.
So I guess what you're asking is what flipped. And it was opening my eyes to possibility. You have to be able to unlock the door that there's more to this than just what is in front of you in black and white. And that's why walking through the dark with your flashlight, taking that one step that is placed in front of you as you're walking towards your goal. So let's just take, for instance, where I wound up. Digging into results is Bob's 62 years of experience. It's not a new program. It's a culmination of all of his education, all of his books, precisely put together in a genius way by Sandy Gallagher and Bob Proctor at the time, where it could be presented to either individuals or groups of people for change that is obvious, repeatable, and just, teachable. And that's why thinking the results is so uncommon, because it's a 6-month process that you take people through. And at the end of the 6 months, you're not given a fish. You're given the knowledge of how to fish with a fishing pole. And then it's up to you to create what it is you want. So I had a vision of just being free, sharing with others what I wanted to do, and just praying for a mastermind group that I resonated with. And just a few weeks ago, I was doing a book signing at Barnes & Noble for a best-selling book that just got released a few weeks ago. It's a culmination of 30 authors that collaborated on the book. It's the book of human empowerment. And this particular one was on purpose and mindset. But I didn't know I was going to be doing this. It just...
Isn't that amazing about thinking like that? All of a sudden you start opening your mind up for things, and then I didn't even consider doing this. And that's amazing.
So what you're doing, John, is you're just focusing on what you want and allowing the things that are attracted to you, because you guys talk about the law of vibration, the law of attraction. Correct. And when you start opening yourself to possibilities, then you recognize when they're there. Then you recognize your path, and it isn't always black and white, and you kind of have to feel your way there. But everybody's different. We're all as individual as our thumbprint, right? So everybody's dream is going to be as different as the next, and nobody needs to be fixed or repaired or broken. It's just getting from where you are to where you want to go with the path of least resistance.
And that's why our last program was a GPS of planning being your GPS of success. I mean, you redirect. When a GPS gets blocked, you redirect. I mean, Sid always says, the first part to planning is what, Sid?
Organizing it.
Writing
a roadmap.
Yeah, the first part of your success is writing your goal down, right? That's what we always say.
And becoming crystal clear with it.
Exactly. And I know that Sid and myself and you, we've all had these epiphanies that have happened. And, like I said earlier on, if it wasn't for this program, I spent 2 months in the hospital. If it wasn't for this program, I wouldn't have got through that. So it's an amazing program because it changes who you are, and it changes that paradigm, like you mentioned. And I know, Sid, you had a couple of successes from it too, as well, correct?
Definitely. Maybe not the most important, but the one that held me down the most was significant credit card debt. I won't say how much, but it was way over. And I battled this. In fact, this is a great story. I still remember years ago of talking to someone that I had a lot of credit cards and I was going to get them paid off.
Mm-hmm.
And she asked a simple question. Well, what about savings? I won't use any 4-letter words, but forget about the saving. I want to get out of debt. Well,
right, but that's a negative word.
I didn't know, Bob, when I met Bob. Yeah, if you're focusing on getting out of debt, you're going to get more debt.
Right.
And I had the same issue with yo-yoing with weight release. They call it diets, but let's say weight release. And real quick, like I lost 300 pounds. People say, really? I said, yeah, I lost 20 pounds at least 15 times trying different programs. And my favorite was Nutrisystem because I got to do that one 3 times.
Nice.
But I've been able to handle things once I started working with Bob and results.
Yeah. So Sid, you and I, we decided that we're gonna start the 6-month program probably early July. We're not set on a date yet, but in celebration of our Memorial Day weekend, and besides thanking the wonderful soldiers that have given the utmost, ultimate, unconditional love for us and for our viewers, thank you. There's no greater love than giving your life for somebody you don't know. If it wasn't for them, we couldn't be doing this. So we want to offer the discovery session, which is a $250 value, for free. It's a 1-hour session. You contact us at sid@sidmastery.com with your name, your email, and your phone number, and we will contact you back. We'll get the discovery session set up so we can get you started on this process and discover what's best for you. And the best part is we get to show you how to accomplish your dreams. It's fantastic. You will love this program. And it's amazing what it does for you internally, how much peace you get out of it. It's amazing. And it's going to be wonderful for you. And my last question for you, Jeff, is could you kind of give our viewers some insight of what it will do for them? Because it's done such good for you. Help them understand a little bit.
So I went for years, working for someone else to finally, and I tried breaking out into the entrepreneur world for a long time. I was able to, this is 4 years ago, I picked up Bob Proctor. It wasn't thinking into results, but like I said, TIR is just a culmination of all his work and a nice organized program that you utilize a coach to help you through it. But it's so hard to put it into words. I haven't had any stress or any anxiety or any fear of any major consequence in over a year. I went from, working for somebody else to creating 2 little successful businesses. I sold 28 homes in 16 months. I bought the commercial building on Route 66, which I've been dreaming about for a long time. I wrote a book. I'm doing this awesome interview with you. It's just your mindset changes to the positive instead of looking at the negative.
Okay.
It just allows you to focus on what it is that makes you feel good. We're here to enjoy life every day. Every day we're supposed to find bliss, happiness, and not concentrate so much on the things that pull you out of that. And as you grow in awareness, you see the false or limiting beliefs that are holding you back. And that's really what it is. So the people that are listening right now, whatever it is that you're yearning for, working for, whether it's to be a better housewife, to be a better mother, to be, to improve your business, to travel more, to whatever it is, you can plug anything you want into this program and see the evolution of that. And like I said, at the end, you'll have the fishing pole in your hand to go after your next ring in the ladder. It's
Absolutely.
And the good news is there is no getting there. Every time you achieve, our natural pull is to grow.
You said something I would really love for you to expand on. You said concentrate on the positive. Could you expand on that for our listeners a little bit? I know Sid and I have talked about that a little bit, but I love that comment. Could you please expand a little bit? You were going to say something, Sid?
You're reading my mind, or if I...
Oh, okay. Well,
no, John, I do real quick. I take, when I have negative thoughts or I'm reading something that's negative, I write it out in the first person. I'm so happy and grateful now of that.
Right.
It could be being in debt. No, I'm so happy and grateful now that I live in abundance. Money comes to me easily and effortlessly. I'm making a difference in the world. I'm helping other people.
Right.
And I'm happy to be here.
And the thing is, what about perspective? So that's your perspective. My perspective is a little different. Jeff is going to have a different perspective, and I'm really interested in what your perspective on concentrating on the positive means and how it could be helpful to our audience.
So a little exercise that is so universal, that works for everybody, everything, no matter where you are, is gratitude. And gratitude for the people who gave the ultimate sacrifice on Memorial Day. And to every morning when you get up, this is an exercise you could give all your listeners right now. And if they do it, they'll see results in days, which is every morning when you wake up, you want to set your vibration for the day. You write 10 things you're grateful for, just as this. Look at that. Look at that. 10 things you're grateful. I got to go back a couple of pages.
This is awesome.
So every
mine's
morning
in the other room.
You set your gratitude for the day. It might start off as being a cup of coffee in the chair you're sitting in, but as time goes by, you're going to start getting really grateful. And what that does is open you up for more gratitude to come to you. That's how this all works. It's the law of attraction, but the law of attraction is the secondary. It's the secondary law. The law of vibration is primary, and that's where you guys are going to get into the discovery call, is to find out exactly what's going on in folks' life and how you can help them change their perspective on what's holding them back from moving to where they want to go. I said that's my purpose in life, and it took me a year to write that down authentically, like really dream big and just really write down what I want. And I realized I'm really good. And you guys are also, this is what this is all about, is helping people grow and get more. That's what life is it's seeking further expression. You don't tell a tree when to stop growing. It just grows, but you got to get all the roadblocks out of the way that are keeping you from moving forward. Right. I'm just very inspired by your guys' story. And I know that a lot of people are going to be touched by your discovery call, because you'll be able to have them, you'll be able to give them a clear picture of where they're going.
Yeah, because Bob always said, well, Sid, you're really good at that. What has Bob always said about showing me what?
Oh yes, he loved this one. I love it. If you can tell me what you want, I can show you how to get it. And I like to say, the second shoe hits the floor, if you do exactly what I say. So working with thinking and results, Bob doesn't lie. Everything he's telling you works. But I like to go back for just a second on writing gratitude, because this is something I heard years ago and I totally forgot about it. And you'll love it. You can't have what you want until you want what you have. That's at
true.
the heart of gratitude.
Very powerful. Very powerful.
You know, and this has been a great session because, you know, you mentioned vibration. We've mentioned focusing in on what you want and how you know, and how much good it's done for just the three of us. And then, you know, everybody I've talked to that does this program loves it. And it just, because of the way it changes who you are, changes your paradigm. They say there's two ways. What's that? Go ahead.
Just because I know we're running short on time, and I just want to make sure you guys get. I really am inspired by what you guys are doing. You've been doing this for a year and doing the podcast and doing it on a much greater impact. I've kind of baby stepped some initial people through this and had to prove it to myself, but I've got 3 or 4 people that have amazing stories that I've introduced. And so I'm just inspired by you guys taking the action to bring this to a larger audience like you have. It was very, very inspirational to hear the country and probably the different people that are around the world listening to you right now. It was fantastic.
Amazing. Yes, it was. And thank you so much for coming on and telling us your story and just kind of helping our listeners understand a little bit about what it did for you and how you feel it can benefit them. But before we close, Sid, was there anything you would like to add before I close up? And
well, I always explain what's thinking and results real simply. Change your thinking to change your results. I want to say easily said, and we're making easier to do. And at the heart of it is identifying your activities and the thoughts that don't support you. In fact, that the other thought when I first heard it was, and it's the 3 of us as an example, support yourself with people, or you surround yourself with people that support your intention in life.
Yeah, you surround yourself with like-minded people.
Yes.
That's kind of where the mastermind comes in. That's kind of what, it's like what we're having here. Essentially, it's a mastermind that we're projecting out to the whole world. We're discussing, how your thinking changes. There are 2 ways to change your paradigm and change your thinking. One is, unfortunately, a tragic event like 9/11, or intentionally doing it. It works 100% of the time if you follow the progress and do it. And the beautiful thing about S&J Mentoring, Sid and I are here to help everybody who's listening through it. Again, we're excited to start our new program. It's going to start in July. We're not 100% sure on the date, but we will notify you as soon as we decide which date it is. So please contact us at sid@sidmaestri.com. That's sid@sidmaestri.com. Give us your name, your phone number, and your email, and we will get back to you, set up a discovery. That $250 session is free for the listeners for this. We're going to go ahead and expand that through the week. So through, as long as you contact us through next Sunday, which is the 2nd, you'll get that for free, and we'll get you set on the right path. We'll get the program that's right for you, and we'll get you working and get you closer to that goal that you're looking for. And we're excited, extremely excited to do this. And we just like to ask you to like, share, and subscribe. It does help. It gets it out there. That's part of the reason why we're hitting 25 countries. I mean, I discovered we were in Russia the other day, which was just interesting. I was like, "Ooh, I wonder who's listening to us in Russia." And Jeff pointed out the other day, and I want to just make this real briefly, that just because it's one person listening doesn't mean they're not streaming it through like a building. So we could have a lot more listeners out there, and that would be wonderful because we love giving this message and we want to help. That's what I have discovered I want to do. I want to help people feel the way I do, find the peace I found, find the love of your life, find the thing that inspires you to move forward. That's what we do here at S&J Mentoring. We show you how to accomplish your dreams. Everybody, thank you for watching. Have a great day. We look forward to seeing you the next time.
Thank you for the time. It was very inspiring.
Thank you, Jeff. It was wonderful.
Yeah, before you guys run off, excellent work, by the way. I loved hearing all your different perspectives of what thinking into results represents. But I wanted to step into the role of the journalist for a second.
Okay.
And I wanted to ask each of you, since all of we've all gone through this program. And so I wanted to ask you individually, which element of thinking into results resonates the most with you? How about we start with you, Jeff? Which component, right? You got 12 lessons. Is there a favorite? Maybe that'd be my question. What is your favorite element of the teachings?
It has to be lesson 1 because it was my largest hurdle. So I knew that it was my biggest learning experience, which was facing your limiting or your beliefs or your limiting beliefs that no longer serve you. And then dreaming beyond fantasy. We all know what the ABC goals are. You've probably been talking about it through your podcast. The goals you know how to do, the goals you think you could put together if it all worked out, and then fantasy. So fantasy is the vision or the everybody thinks as goals is a cliche, like you got to get that new car, you got to get the bigger house, but the vision, the seagull, the fantasy is what gives you life and allows you to not get knocked off your horse for any reason. You're going to find a way over or around or through whatever comes in front of you. And that is what gives you inspiration that gets you out of bed with a pop and a step and allows you to go through anything that gets in your way. It took me a year to write down what I wanted. Really, I really wanted, because most people have a sense of either unworthiness or I don't deserve it, or, we come into this world with some pre-programming through our DNA, through our parents' education, and we pop into this world at 4 or 5 years old, and we start our deductive reasoning with a whole set of rules that we've already been given. So it's just a fun process of figuring out what you want, what's in your way, and getting through I thank God every day for Bob. Just like John said, like, I don't know where I would be if I didn't find it. I look back at COVID as the best. I know it's not everybody's experience. It was a horrible, horrific thing that's still unfolding, but I don't get emotionally attached to it. And I heard this the other day, which really resonates with all of this. Wisdom is your past experiences emotionally detached. So when you go back to history, you can't make it go away, but you can detach from it emotionally and look at it as a car passing by with no meaning to it. And that's what wisdom is looking at past as wisdom and not current circumstances or your current, surroundings. So you're looking for new feelings and adventures and adventures, not living through the old stuff that doesn't work anymore. That's just today's present moment is just your previous thoughts, emotions, thoughts about those emotions, and the body's actions towards your results. So change the thoughts you think about, changes the emotions around it, changes the body, which is an instrument of the mind, which ultimately changes the results down the road. So it's not a simple process. It has to be done 6 months is a nice, even pace. Take one lesson at a time. I know I went too far, but lesson 1's my favorite because that's really the one that is the hardest for most, is giving yourself permission to dream. Most of us are that's taken away at a very young age. That stop daydreaming and get logical, go get a job, and go work hard to get what you want, and it's all just false beliefs.
Yeah, foundation is in lesson 1. Yeah, I love your feedback on it. How about you, John?
Well, I would have to say free the mind. Um, you think you understand something, and then you talk about how the mind works and how subconscious and conscious work in conjunction with each other. And we kind of have even though we're thinking all the time, we kind of have this disconnection from the subconscious and the conscious mind. And one of the things that really stuck with me was we think in pictures. So this is why vision boards work so well. I have a vision board that runs across my computer, and every 10 minutes it changes the screen because I work from home. So I have a work computer that I'm working from, but every 10 minutes my pictures change. And, like Jeff said, he had problems figuring out what he really wanted. I had problems figuring out how to envision what I really wanted. And once I realized that we think in pictures and our conscious mind is kind of a gatekeeper to our subconscious mind, and that I could filter through the positive, even though I get negative feedback, my conscious mind can say, well, I'm only going to give the positive aspect of this to my subconscious mind so that I can move forward with life. That was a big change for me because I can now visualize and see my goal and go, I do have $1 million deposited in my bank account. I can see the numbers clearly. And it doesn't take me more than just a millisecond to bring that up. I go, oh, yeah, that's what's going to happen. And it's amazing. It's amazing when you realize, because everybody thinks we think in words, and it's like when you memorize 2 + 2, you're not memorizing 2, you're memorizing the 2 + 2 stacked on each other and the 4 beneath. So once you realize that concept, you're like, oh my gosh, what kind of epiphany did I just have? It's an amazing feeling to realize that not only can I picture my dreams and then learn to emotionalize that as if it's already a part of your life. Those were the 2 hardest things I've had, but man, once you can master that, the sky's the limit.
Excellent feedback. How about you, Sid? What's your favorite aspect of thinking into results?
Well, I'm like Jeff. I go back to lesson 1 because that's the foundation for the whole program that you're working towards. In fact, the C goal is the big dream, something you've never done before. I like to describe it as the big enchilada. And and it's an idea that you shared, I like to say, with family and friends years ago, and you just got so much support. And eventually you stopped thinking about it, you didn't write it down, but it's still in your back of your mind. And I've discovered some things I've always wanted to do that I'm working on now. But in particular, what came to me, well, one thought was involved detachment. It was something I heard years ago. It's whether it's your history, whatever's going on, you were involved at some point, but you're detached from it, and that's a conscious effort. It's not that you don't care, but if you're not a decision maker, you're detached. But getting back to the goals for a second, I had whatever my programming was. I had multiple times when I was younger, teenager, so forth, that someone would confirm that I could do something, which would be out of my comfort zone. And I was programmed, I can't do that. A matter of fact, that this is a fact. I've shared it with my wife or my mother, but they had a lot of confidence in me. And my thought was, I can't do that. You don't know how hard that is. And that was my thought. And I missed a whole lot of opportunities not stepping forward. And I've been retired for an awful long time when I came upon Bob Proctor and his teaching and thinking the results. And it was just, oh, I need to do that. I want to do that. I still got some issues. And then now I want to share it, just like everybody here. Even Guy, you're sharing your idea of your company and the PR Connections Radio, helping people take their message. And you're just growing every day. I'm really excited about it. So go after the big enchilada. Eat it one bite at a time.
One bite at a time, huh?
One bite at a time.
One more time. When can people tune in to Thinking into Results?
Wednesday, 1 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, 1 to 1:30 every Wednesday.
And 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time.
Yes.
That's where I'm from.
Okay. And sometimes things come up and we'll do a replay. And the best of the best. Of course, they're all best, but ones that we think are appropriate that time to share. And I can't thank Jeff enough for coming on and sharing his story. Thank Guy for having this platform. John's just came on as a guest, then became my co-host. And then we've created our LLC is S&J Mentoring. He let me be first Sid and John Mentoring.
Fair. He's got a day or two on me for age. So
I'm looking forward to see who grabs a hold of your wonderful, generous, authentic offer to get a free coaching call and a discovery calls, because that's really where you're able to work with them and figure out what it is they want. That's going to be very special for people who take action and contact you guys.
Yeah, reach out to the guys. Guys, I got to move you along because the marathon is going to keep going. But I just had to ask those questions. So thank you so much for your show, and keep up the amazing work helping people improve their thinking.
Thank you, Guy.
Thank you, Guy.
Wonderful.
All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed Thinking into Results. A phenomenal show here at prconnectionsradio.com. We're going to take a short break here to honor another one of our sponsors, and then we'll return with Sunday Morning Chat Series with Jesse Oakley III. Stay tuned.
Did you know your clothing could help balance your body's pH levels? Our cutting-edge fabric technology naturally promotes optimal pH balance, helping you feel energized, refreshed, and at your best every day. Use promo code PRTalk for more info. Tap the link in the description or contact our experts at 702-445-9488 to learn more.
All right, Jesse Oakley III, host of Sunday Morning Chat Series and a good friend of mine for many years. Hey, welcome back. Another marathon, huh, Jesse?
Yes, indeed. Another marathon, and it is great to be here, especially for PR Connections, and really appreciate the opportunity, Guy.
Yeah, so you are, how long have you had your show? You're in for a while now, huh?
Oh my, where do I get started? It originally started back in 2020 during the whole pandemic scare that has happened, and there was so much negativity going around. And my goal and the mission was actually create something positive. And hence the Sunday Morning Chat Series was born, where I have a chance to interview positive people to make a big difference in the community. And the more I did that, the more people seemed to get on. But there was a stop in September of 2021 where I was running for an international director position for Toastmasters. And I'd stopped that for about a good 3 years and brought it back in fall of 2024 when my term as international director stopped. And I decided to actually bring it back on because there was a luncheon that I had before with past guests on the prior run of the Sunday Morning Chat Series. And once I had that happen, it was a good idea to actually bring it back on the air, and the rest is history.
Right. I had the privilege of being a guest on one of your early shows when you just got your podcast started. And, Jesse, again, we've been friends for a long time. When you got into podcasting, I saw your enthusiasm for it right away. It felt when you were interviewing me like you were very comfortable with the process of podcasting, asking the questions, and that you were really enthusiastic about helping people tell their stories. Is that and that seems to really come through now. Of course, you've had your show on our network for a while. I mean, what builds your enthusiasm for doing this? Because it really just kind of oozes out of you when you're doing these shows.
I tell you what, it's the guests that make it happen. And the people that are on these past shows, they always have stories to tell, whether it is the challenges and opportunities and wise words of wisdoms. I always seem to be energized by what they have to say. And whether it is positive or whether it's overcoming any type of obstacles, it's always a huge plus. And whenever they overcome things, and whenever they do something positive, that energizes me, that drives me to actually have that pumped in energy going.
Right. Well, I know you have a guest that you're going to be interviewing today, and I'm going to bring Miss Linda Day Harrison on. Welcome, Miss Linda Day Harrison. And you are muted. You are muted, so I would hit the mute. See that down at the bottom? There should be a mute button to your left. Yeah. There you go. Now you are unmuted. All right. Well, welcome, Linda. I am going to exit, and you're all going to be watching.
Glad to be here.
Oh, welcome, Linda. Yeah, so you're all going to be watching Sunday Morning Chat Series with your host, Jesse Oakley III. Take it away, Jesse.
Thank you, Guy. Hello, and welcome to the Sunday Morning Chat Series with Jesse Oakley III. This is your host, Jesse Oakley III, speaking. Now, the purpose of the Sunday Morning Chat Series is for me, Jesse Oakley III, to interview a plethora of positive people that are making big differences in their communities. Whether they are speakers, writers, singers, authors, entertainers, or someone that's doing something great for the community, you'll hear from them first on the Sunday Morning Chat Series. And today, we have ourselves a wonderful episode that is live here on PR Connections. Now, many of you people know that I've been involved with Toastmasters for the past 23 years. And whether it be in different clubs or different leadership roles, from club officer to international director, I've had an amazing experience with Toastmasters that is still going on to this day. And I love interviewing people from the Toastmasters communities, talking about their wonderful clubs. And today, I have with me a wonderful guest that's talking about a certain club that she belongs to called Level Up Toastmasters. And with Level Up Toastmasters, I was intrigued to know what this club is all about. So without any further delay, please help me welcome Linda Day Harrison, the Vice President of Public Relations for Level Up Toastmasters. Hey, Linda, how's it going?
Fine. How are you, Jesse?
I'm doing quite well. And let's go ahead and get started with the questions. And without further delay, let's chat. First question I have for you.
Glad to be here.
Yes, great to be here. Now, the first question I have for you is, what out of all the thousands of clubs in Toastmasters, out of all the clubs that are here in Las Vegas Valley, what is Level Up Toastmasters, or what makes this club special?
Well, of course, it's the people. We have an incredible community of members. They're vibrant, they're enthusiastic, they're dedicated to learning and helping others be better public speakers. We are an eclectic group. There's no pattern, there's no particular industry that we're from. We're from all parts of Las Vegas and Henderson. We are all over actually the country because we're hybrid now. So we actually have members from California as well. Our group meets twice a month, and each time the speakers and the speeches are just better and better each month. So it's an exciting club, and I'm real proud of our group of people, and it's about people.
Fantastic. Now, you mentioned about Level Club Toastmasters getting the people all together, and it's all about the country and everything. Now, how did this idea of Level Up Toastmasters get started?
Well, what happened was COVID hit. Our name was originally Morelli House Toastmasters. And when COVID hit, we lost members and things started to change for the, I'll say, meeting in person club type industry. We had to pivot. We decided to rebrand, just like a company would rebrand. And part of our rebranding was to truly make a difference and not just say, oh, we're a new name. We wanted to do what we actually named the club, which was level up, step up. So what we did is we planned having a meetup page, a YouTube channel, and embracing the virtual world and being out there for people to find us. Our YouTube channel was one of the main components, which was to enable our members to have their speeches recorded, which has been a powerful change in our club, and I think has helped us attract members. That is what we did, and the rebrand was really to take us all up to the next level and not be just this physical meeting club, as we are now a hybrid club as well.
All right, fantastic. Now, when it comes to getting this started, there are different types of challenges that anybody would face. When it comes to getting level up with all the COVID that's happening and everything else, and the name brand and name change happening, what challenges would you also be able to face that you overcame?
Well, of course, the biggest challenge is change. People don't like to change. So we had to refresh our leadership. We had to refresh our members. We had to change our mindset. People were shocked when we started talking about recording the speeches. We came to some little bit of stumbling blocks there, but it was once we started to show them how powerful it was to have a recorded speech, every speech you make, that you could go back and reflect on it and see a transformation in your speech. It was almost just melted all of the challenges away. The other thing was we made sure that we were on every single platform there was for people to find us. And we also created something that we never had before, which keeps our members connected, which is a WhatsApp channel. So our members are constantly in touch with each other in one place where we can share pictures and information and updates on each other, like, oh, I can't be at the meeting, or, oh, I'm running late, or whatever, or can you do this, or can you do that? So we're trying to bring ourselves together in a new era of using technology. But we did, I believe we've melted away the challenges by just demonstrating how powerful these tools can be.
And I tell you, those challenges that you overcame, they made a big difference. And this is in the guise of the Who Moved My Cheese. Either you change, or you grow, or there'll be this chance to run out of cheese. So that is truly fantastic to actually overcome those obstacles. Now, my next question for you is, we talked about the challenges. There've got to be those best moments that has happened with Level Up Toastmasters. And what were some of the best moments you experienced with this wonderful Toastmasters Club?
Well, to me, the best moments are when you see a new member who comes in real nervous, quiet, shy, shaky, whatever the tendencies are when you're afraid or fearful. And then to see that 2 months later, just getting up there and doing their speech and getting into a speech contest, it's just like I get goosebumps, and I'm so proud of those people. And I see them and I admire them. And I say, you know what? You stuck to it. You did it. You came to a meeting. You broke the ice. You forced yourself to prioritize your time. Everyone's busy. We all have jobs. We all have families. But you made the effort and you have actually accomplished something. To me, those are the best moments and the magic of our club and our group. And then to couple that with being able to show them their video on YouTube of here you were 2 months ago or however long, and here you are now. Look at the difference. And for them to be able to see that, I think those are our best moments as a club. And that's the kind of community that we're building.
I tell you, that is truly magical. And did you just mention 2 months? Did I say?
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Within 2 months, and then progress happens. And it's always cool to actually see where one was in the beginning, as well as to where they are right now. And that growth, that is truly breathtaking. to see that amazing thing happen. And this is why Level Up Toastmasters is so intriguing to me within the Toastmasters community. Definitely doing some amazing stuff here. All right.
Well, I do want to mention, though, Jesse, I don't want to pressure anyone. You don't have to make a transformation in 2 months. That is the beauty of Toastmasters.
Exactly. It's all in how the journey is, and it's whether it's 2 months, 2 years, or two anything.
Right.
It's all about the path and all about the journey that one's willing to take. Everybody's got their own path and speed, and it's up to you to make that happen, and for that growth happening.
Exactly.
All right. Now there's somebody out there that is seeing what you're doing here at Level Up Toastmasters, and they are amazed and inspired by the process and the progress that you're helping people out with in that department, and they want to be in those type of shoes. Now, if you were to meet somebody that said, wow, I can't believe what Level Up Toastmasters is doing something this amazing, how can I be a part of it? What advice would you give that person?
First thing I say is just show up. Start. Do it. Whatever's the most urgent words that you can give them. Come on, let's go. Get going. Because people are so hesitant. And they're, I've got all these excuses. Just show up. Check it out. To find us is very easy. You've got to make the commitment yourself to say, I want to overcome my fear, or I want to polish my professional image, or whatever it is you want to do. You've got to have that mindset. It's like any habit. Break the bad habit of not taking steps to improve yourself and start improving yourself. You can find us anywhere. So there's no excuse. If you go on the internet and you type in Level Up Toastmasters, we're going to come up everywhere. So you will find us. And we're easy to reach.
And speaking of being easy to reach, you mentioned website. Where else can they go to find Level Up Toastmasters?
They can find us on X, formerly Twitter. They can find us on LinkedIn, Facebook, Meetup, Instagram, our own website, which is a Toast Host site. But if they search Level Up TM, which is abbreviation for Toastmaster, like hashtag Level Up TM, we add that to all of our posts on social. We will come up. They will find us. And if they go to Meetup, for example, and search Level Up Toastmasters, they're going to find us because we are on all the social media channels, and we do have our own website as well. And YouTube, of course, number one, YouTube. And you can see our speeches.
I tell you what, that is a plethora of routes to actually find Level Up Toastmasters. So if you're interested in checking this club out at Level Up Toastmasters, go to Level Up Toastmasters. You'll find them on YouTube, on Facebook, on X, on LinkedIn. You can find them anywhere. They're hard to not find. So definitely check out Level Up Toastmasters. And when do you actually meet as a club at Level Up Toastmasters?
We meet on the first and third Thursday of every month at 6:30 p.m. We suggest arriving at 6:15. It helps us to break the ice, meet you. You don't want to walk in the door at 6:30 because we start promptly. We are virtual and in person. So if you're fortunate to live in the Las Vegas metropolitan area, you can come to our meeting in person. It's in Henderson at Mimi's Cafe. But if you are virtual or in another state or another country, we would love to have you. And we are on Zoom. We have our own Zoom account. So either way, you can be part of our club, and you don't have to join. Just come and check us out.
And to make it clear, it's 6:15 to 6:30 Pacific Standard Time, right?
Yes. I'm sorry. Pacific time. We're on the Pacific time zone. Yes.
Okay. We don't want anybody to come in like 6:15 East Coast time or 6:15.
Right. Thank you, Jesse. Yes.
So
thank you, Jesse.
Again, it's 6:15 Pacific Standard Time for those who want to check out Level Up Toastmasters on the first and third Thursdays, 6:15 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Right.
All right. Now, this next question is a chance for a shout out portion. And there's so many people that made this club possible at Level Up Toastmasters. And it's an opportunity for you as a Vice President of Public Relations of this club to give a shout out. If you'd like to give a shout out to those that make this club possible, who would you like to give a shout out to?
Well, I want to give a shout out to the leadership of our club. We could not have come this far without the leaders being willing to change. I want to give a shout out to every single person who came to our club, gave a speech, showed up, was in a contest for our club. Anybody that's touched our club, I want to give you a shout out. There's too many to list, but our leadership has just been transformative for our club, that they actually let us change the name, let us change the direction, and we got the job done. And I'm proud of those leaders of the club.
I truly met the people at Level Up Toastmasters, and they are amazing people. They always have the big ingenuity, the big minds, and like yourself, Linda, they also have the big heart when it comes to making people better. It's like the guys for the shampoo commercial. If you don't look good, we don't look good. So it's always best to make each other look good and Level Up Toastmasters. All right. Now, this is the question I do have for you. And the following question will be addressed to the people that watch this Sunday morning chat series and the people that actually love and enjoy the guests I bring here. And the people called the happy people. And that's my crew. And they always love to hear wise words of wisdom for the happy people. So if you have a chance to give the wise words of wisdom for my crew and my people, the happy people, what would it be? All right, Linda.
Well, number one, you can't grow if you stay in your comfort zone. You need to break out of your comfort zone and expand your horizons. You've got to make mistakes. You've got to try something new. You've got to just mess up, I guess, whatever. Get up there and try. And that is the whole purpose of our club, is to let you do that in a comfortable environment where every single person in that room is supporting you and wanting to see you succeed. So that is our goal. And if you would come to our meetings, you can speak up, you can mess up, you can do whatever you want, but you are leveling up. So come and level up with us. Those are my words of wisdom.
All right. And those words of wisdom are reminders from one of my podcast mentors, Evan Carmichael. And he says the following: expect to stink the first time around and always get better after that. And once you expect to stink, you can get better and better and go to believe the best way that you can. But first, when it comes to the first go around, expect to stink and then find a way to get better after that. I tell you, Linda, on behalf, this was a perfect bookend to a wonderful interview that we have here at the Sunday Morning Chat Series with Jesse Oakley III. And on behalf of all the happy people that are watching all over the world, we thank you for being a part of the Sunday Morning Chat Series with Jesse Oakley III. Thank you, Linda.
Thank you, Jesse.
All right.
Before I let my fellow Toastmasters escape, I have to ask a couple of questions of the two of you. Thank you so much. Toastmasters, we talk so much, right? It's hard to, and me being a part of the organization, thank you so much for sharing about your club, Linda. And there was just some perspectives that you brought up that I thought were so interesting, especially when you were talking about COVID and the impact that it had on our organization. Obviously, for a couple of years, we really had to make a dramatic transition. Right off the bat, we had to go from our in-person format, which we primarily utilize for the whole history of the organization. I don't think people realize the depth of that. When you're almost 100-year organization, as we were at that time, where there was an in-person focus, and then in a matter of days or maybe a week or two, we literally had to transition from that to an online platform. And the fact that we were able to do that and keep our organization going, I think and feedback from either one of you, Jesse or Linda, on the fact that how were we able to pull that off? When I was just sitting backstage and just thinking about what we did. Jesse, what do you think? How did we pull that off?
Well, my best answer to you is in the wise words of the late distinguished Toastmaster, past international director, and accredited speaker, a Toastmaster who's been around for 62 plus years, and his name was Don Inch. And when I was elected division governor back in 2008, he gave me these following wise words that he got from Ralph Smedley, the founder of Toastmasters. Always stay the course and never quit, for quitting is worse than failing. So it is always important to have that inward ability to stay the course, no matter what situation that you're involved with, no matter what storms that you face, no matter what challenges that are there, no matter what walls are out there. We always have a chance to actually stay the course and overcome whatever we can. Because when we're able to do that and not quit and get to where we are right now, then we can see that the trails that we've made, that we are able to do, that inspires many people, not only here in Toastmasters, but also all over the world. So stay the course and never quit.
Yeah, we definitely did that. That's a great movie. We were all very committed, and I want to get to you in a second, Linda, but I know the clubs that I was in, I mean, it was a tough thing because it was the unknown. And change, as Linda had mentioned, can be very difficult for people, especially just kind of turning on a dime like that. You want to keep your club going, but all of a sudden now you're doing something that is so unfamiliar. Linda, how did your club manage to make this adaptation? And why do you think we were so successful as an organization, keeping ourselves going under very difficult circumstances?
I think first of all, we were determined. Yeah, we were determined. We did not want to fail. We thought that we had to keep going somehow. There were people during that COVID time that said, oh, when this is over, we'll all go back to just in person. We won't need Zoom anymore. Well, the whole time thought, no, we got to stick with this model. We've got to have a hybrid model. It makes sense. It makes sense in all aspects, even without COVID. It makes sense for people. And I think the one thing it did was it opened the horizons of clubs to have people from all parts of the world, not just in your little tiny neighborhood. And so to me, I think that we were just determined to make it happen. And yes, did we mess up? Yes. Did we have mistakes? Absolutely. Did we have technology disasters? You bet we did. But we learned a lot. And I'm proud of our club to see how far we've come. And now we're pushing the envelope on these recordings, which yes, it's more work for us, but it's so powerful. And it's worth every inch of our time that we spend doing it to accomplish what we're trying to do. And it's giving Toastmasters more exposure.
I agree with you, Linda. I agree with you, Linda, about the fact that seemingly disastrous situation, which was COVID. I mean, it was awful on so many levels, but the way that it really did open up Toastmasters to a broader perspective. And as you mentioned, I'm in 2 hybrid clubs. I love the hybrid platform because, as you mentioned, it allows you to have members in parts of the world where you never would have been able to connect with them, except for the fact that COVID happened and then we opened our doors up to more people. So yes, it's like, what do they say? You're turning a lemon into lemonade, right? You can turn lemons into lemonade. And I felt like our organization did that. And so it's great for us to be on the other side of it. The other question that I had for the 2 of you is more broadly related to our organization. So through the years, I've been a member of Toastmasters International myself for 18 years. For those of you who don't know what it is, it's the largest speaking and leadership organization in the world. And it has helped literally, probably would say maybe millions of people to improve their communication and leadership skills over the time since 1924 that we've been around. But the question that I have for the two of you is, all the time I've been in Toastmasters, I meet a lot of people and they say, I've heard of Toastmasters and I want to show up. How do you get people past some of the barriers that will come up for them that keep them from showing up to a meeting? What would you tell them to encourage them to get past maybe some of the voices in their heads? We just had the show Thinking into Results that was on that talked a lot, I think, addressed this topic. The voices that people have in their heads are sometimes barriers to their growth. So let's start with you, Jesse. If people are hearing, they got these tapes that are running in their heads. I'm terrified getting up in front of people. Are you crazy? I'm extremely afraid of doing this. How would you help a person to get past that?
I would help the person to get past that. I can only tell them about the wonders and the joys and the experience and the stories within Toastmasters. The key thing is for any person to move is to allow them to do it themselves. And all I can offer is an open hand, an invite, an open door. And I just tell them, yes, I talked to you about Toastmasters. The key thing is the doors will always be open. And if you want to come and join Toastmasters, I'll be more than happy to welcome you and get a chance to do that experience. It's one thing to mention about Toastmasters and say things about Toastmasters and talk about the beauty of Toastmasters. The key thing is it's up to that person to make that choice, whether they want to join or whether they want to be a part of the organization or the community. I could just say it, but it's always up to them. And the key thing is always keep that door open for them in case they do want to join.
How about you, Linda? The ones that have they are delaying their ability to potentially grow because they're just so terrified of the experience of being in Toastmasters. How do you help them get past that?
Well, myself, I was one of those people. So I think that when you explain to someone that I was terrified, crippled with fear to have to make presentations, to make speeches, to do new business presentations. I hated it. I struggled with it. People are shocked because they can't believe that you were also in that position. So I think relating to them and explaining to them that many people, it's very unusual for somebody to be a natural speaker and just, want to speak. It's a common fear. And I think that if they want to break away from that crippling feeling or anxiety, and they really want to improve, this step has no strings attached, no obligation, no cost, no risk whatsoever. It's so convenient. It's everywhere, online, from your couch, in your living room. You don't even have to come and meet people in person anymore, at least initially. And there's clubs all over the world. There is no excuse.
Well, that's great feedback for those of you out there. Again, if you want to learn more about Toastmasters, and it's had a tremendous impact on my life and on so many people's lives around the world, go to Toastmasters.org, right? Linda just raised her hand. I know Jesse has raised his hand. He and I have been friends for many years, and watching his growth. By the way, Jesse, when can people tune in to Sunday morning? We know it's Sunday morning. What time on Sunday morning can people tune into your podcast?
Well, they can tune in the Sunday morning chat series on a Wednesday afternoon. No, not Wednesday afternoon, but they can tune in on Sunday morning chat series, Sunday mornings at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Times, right here on PR Connections, where we have a plethora of positive people that are making big differences in the community. Again, Sunday morning at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Yeah, and if you want a positive wake up on a Sunday, just tune in. Jesse, really, his enthusiasm, the great guests that he has, I think you'll be inspired. If that's an inspiring way to start your Sunday, is tune into the Sunday morning chat series with Jesse Oakley III. And again, thank you so much, Linda, for coming on and talking about your Toastmaster Club. And I wish you nothing but continued success with helping people to grow through communication and leadership. And beyond that, by becoming a part of this organization, you're going to make lifelong friends like the two people that I'm talking with on the air right now. You think you come to, I know when I became a member back in 2007, I came because I wanted to grow as a communicator and a leader. And I ended up getting so much more than I ever bargained for in terms of just the friendships and the relationships, these lifelong, decade-long friendships that you develop with just amazing people. I can't say enough great things about our organization. So thank you both for coming and representing it extremely well today.
Thank you. And until next time, happy people.
All right. Take care of yourselves. All right. Well, the marathon moves on. We had some personal development in the last couple of shows that were on the air. And so I guess we are going to have some personal development in terms of this show, Prospering Health and Wealth, which is going to be the next podcast that we air here at the network. However, prior to doing that, we're going to honor one of our sponsors, and then I'm going to bring on Werner Dixon. He is the host of Prospering in Health and Wealth. Stay tuned. We're here at the marathon, the third annual Memorial Day weekend marathon for prconnectionsradio.com, the voice of new media. We hope you're enjoying yourselves. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a second.
This podcast is brought to you by Envision U. Envision U has discovered how to impact spirit, body, and soul with spray technology in just 30 seconds. With Envision U, you can achieve optimal health and start living the life you have always dreamed of. Use the promo code envisinu.com/VernDix to take control of your health naturally.
All right. Well, we are here with Werner Dixon. He is the host of Prospering in Health and Wealth, another relatively new show here at prconnectionsradio.com. Werner and I go way back in the networking community here in Las Vegas. A great guy, a good friend of mine, and I am just so thrilled to have him as a podcaster on our network, and also Envision U. The product that we just displayed in our ad is also a company that he's affiliated with. Welcome to the marathon, Werner.
Oh, hang on 1 second here, boy. Good grief. Good morning, good afternoon. What day are we talking about? This is awesome. I was trying to get another video loaded, but it's giving me a problem. But anyway, I am so happy to be here. This is definitely an awesome opportunity. I've been kind of nervous about it, but I'm trying to get some things taken care of and see how I need to kind of come off to people today, since it is a marathon day. But anyway, Guy, good to see you. How you doing, my man?
I am fantastic, Werner. And as I had mentioned, your podcast is relatively new to the network, but boy, you've really had an impact. Our audience is enjoying the information that you're sharing. What about you? What have you learned about yourself with this new podcast that you have been airing?
Yeah. Well, in terms about myself, I doing these podcasts, I realized that I had become a lot more confident. I mean, I guess one of those things when I was working for IBM and Wang Laboratories and some of those companies, I'd get up in front of a room full of people because that's what I had to do. And it used to be exhilarating to do that. I haven't done that in a long time. And so this kind of gives me that opportunity to do it again. And so I feel like I'm in my element and my health and things are going well for me. So I'm just excited. So I hope that answers your question.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, just as I had mentioned, our last host, Jesse Oakley III, I mean, when I watch his show, it's one of the privileges that I have being a part of this network is that I'm always watching you, all of your different shows, and just like I had mentioned about him, his enthusiasm really comes across in these videos. And I would also say the same thing about you, Werner. You've got this show, Prospering in Health and Wealth. Why are you so passionate and enthusiastic about the topics that you share on your show?
I mean, the real reason is because, I mean, I had been through some health issues. I mean, I've had 5 knee replacements on my right leg. And so I've been through that. And I've had some other health issues. And so I had a real stomach problem, a gut problem that I had to deal with. And so over the years, I've had these different issues and then trying to get things resolved. And so I ran into these products. I was looking for something that was going to help me get past all of that. And so I found this product. BioLimitless is one. Envision Use is some others, and some other things that I'm involved in. And so I got excited because I said, if it can help me, I would be remiss if I didn't reach out and let other people know that there is a solution out there, a possible solution out there, if you're having some of the issues that I've had. And so if I can bring that to the table and introduce them to those items, that makes me feel good. I feel real good about that. In addition to not only becoming healthier, but also increasing my wealth because of that. And so it's a win-win situation. And I always tell people, hey, do your own research, but I've got some things maybe you can start with here. So that's why I'm happy.
Yeah, health and wealth go hand in hand, Werner. I mean, I think that there are a lot of people out there who are very wealthy, whose health might not be very good. And I'm sure that they would trade some of that wealth for better health, but that's not possible. So when your health goes bad, it doesn't matter how much money you have, right? I mean, I guess the treatment, you're being able to treat the illness is one of the solutions. But again, now you're at the point of treatment, which is not really where you want to be, because you don't know how treatment's going to turn out. The healthier thing is not to get sick in the first place. And then from the other perspective, okay, so you could be a super, super healthy person, which is wonderful. The number one thing I believe in life is your health, because you're always in the game if you have your health. But then if you're struggling so much financially, you have this great health, and then you're struggling so much financially, that can take its toll eventually on your health because of the stress behind not being able to take care of things financially the way that you want to. So I see your show as kind of a balance. It's really showing the importance that both sides are important. Is that kind of what you emphasize in these podcasts?
That's exactly it. That you hit the nail on the head, because one, you can make all the money in the world, but if you don't have your health, how can you enjoy the money that you're making? You're in hospital beds, you're trying to get relieved, or you're trying to get this taken care of. You're looking for resources to help you get well. Maybe you have the financial wherewithal to get it done, but you're sick. But if you're healthy and you can move towards trying to earn some additional income, that's the exciting part about it too. So one helps the other and the other helps the one. I guess that's what it is. The one hand watches the other, so to speak. So that and that's what I'm trying to share, and hopefully somebody is listening and somebody will be able to take advantage of what I'm offering and become better from a health perspective, and also increase their income so that they can enjoy both.
Well, Werner, I know you have a lot more that you want to tell everyone. Prospering in Health and Wealth is the podcast that he is going to air. And so I will exit, and do your thing, Werner.
All righty. Thank you, sir. Have a blessed one. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. I am so glad to be here, and I'm glad that you're here as well. I've been anxiously awaiting the opportunity to continue to share my adventure, and I call it my adventure because it is an adventure, something that I hadn't done before, because going through the process of trying to improve my health based on some of the things that I had to deal with, some of the things that I had to go through, it was frustrating. It was extremely frustrating. I mean, if you've got insurance, that's one thing. If you've got Medicare, that's another thing. And that's another thing that's, talking about Medicare. Well, we don't have time for that today. But anyway, if you've got those things and you're able to rely on them, that's one thing. But in some of those cases, like in mine, as an example, some of the things that I end up using to help me improve my health was not in my quote subscription. when I get a prescription to, for instance, I had a what I call a garbage gut. And what I mean by garbage gut is that I got to a situation, I don't know what it was, my system was out of balance, so to speak. And so every time I would eat, I would get extremely sick. I would get lethargic. I didn't know if I was going to have that everything come back up. I couldn't do anything, and it was just mind numbing in terms of trying to have a dinner, breakfast, lunch, or dinner or whatever. And in my mind, I'm saying, if I'm going to get sick, I don't want to have to go through this process of trying to have a meal, because if I eat, I know I'm going to be sick. And so I began to lose weight. I lost over 25 pounds in less than a month based on this situation, but I just couldn't get my gut straight. So I have, outside of my normal say health care, I have a regular doctor on the outside, and I got a prescription for my stomach from him. Told him what my symptoms were and what was happening, and he could see that I had a weight loss, and the drain in my face, the drain in my body. He could tell all those things, so he gave me a prescription. I went, pulled that prescription, got it taken care of, and started taking the prescription. Nothing changed. I'm also a veteran of VA. I'm also a veteran. So I went to my VA doctor and talked to him, told him about the same issues, and he also could see that the issues that I was going through, that I was having a problem trying to keep things down. He gave me a prescription too for the same issue, but it was a different prescription. I took that prescription and it didn't work. One of the companies that I work with and I promote was bringing on a company, a health company. We were doing insurance. We were doing some other health-related things for businesses. But this one had basically a pre-launch here in Las Vegas at one of the hotels. And so I took advantage of that opportunity to go and meet the doctor and talk about my situation. But at the time, I was more interested in the back pains that I was having. The stomach thing was one thing, but I was having really a lot of back pains. And so I had taken stem cells to help correct that back pain. If you're familiar with stem cells, and those injections are very, very expensive. I had one injection, it cost me $5,000 to do that. I needed 4 more. At the time, I couldn't afford that. And so that was off the table. So I had to go through my regular medication in terms of trying to manage my back. So I had to move that off the table. But when this company came to town, BioLimitless came to town, then they were introducing a product that was going to be using what we call exosomes. Exosomes are the active ingredient from stem cells at a much lower price. He had created a technology where you didn't even have to have the injection. He had created a technology where it wrapped around the exosome, where it could go through your entire system, end up in your stomach, and it still had 97% efficacy in terms of how it helped your body. That was delayed because of the way that they were doing their launch and things that he was traveling and trying to put everything together. But he had some other products, and one that he was talking about was something to help your gut. And definitely I got excited about that. Something to help my gut other than the prescription that I was currently using. That product was called Master Microbiotics. Master Microbiotics, I started taking the Master Microbiotics, and within a week, actually a little bit less than a week, I was able to, being nervous about eating anyway, I was able to start eating breakfast, lunch, dinner, and even had dessert. And I thought that was amazing. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and even having dessert. Still had my back problems, but at least my stomach was better. I started gaining my weight back. I started feeling better because there are some other things in that Master Microbiotics that kind of help you overall, because it helps the cells in your body as well. And I said, if he has products that can help me do this, what else can he help me do? And so I started looking at some of the other things that they have. cell resets, where you take a product and it has peptides in it, and it helps you with each of the cells in your body. It looks at those cells and it goes in there and says, whoop, that cell has a little weakness. Let's get some motivation and try to build it back up to its original efficacy. I keep using that word, efficacy. I am not a spring chicken, as it were. I have 7 grandkids, and my life evolves around those 7 grandkids. And my issue is I wanted to be able to be with those grandkids for as long as I could. If I got on the floor and I wanted to play with the grandkids, I wanted to be able to get up. And that was very, very important to me in terms of doing that. And so I started looking at some of the other things that he had. And so my energy began to increase. My sleeping was better. My mind became clear. It seemed like I was a new me again. I was back to, it's almost like it turned the clock back and gave me that energy and that motivation to do some other things. And not only that, but I was able to participate with my grandkids and be out in the park with them and do some things. I have a leg issue. Like I said, I've been replaced several times, so that it reduces that a little bit. But other than that, in terms of me overall, the blood tests that I take now are blood tests that they tell me that, being as old as I am, my blood tests and my body and the things that are going on in there are for a much younger man. The only thing that I'm doing now, again, based on my age, is the prostate medication that I take for that. But the only other thing, based on my blood test, the only other thing that I needed was electrolytes. That's electrolytes. I can get that with Pedialyte. I can get that over the counter. I can get that anywhere. But that was all. Everything else was within range or better than someone of my age. And so I was always excited about that. That was just amazing and an absolute opportunity for me to do that. And based on that, I started looking around at other things that I could that would be beneficial to me, natural products, natural things, energy products, other products and services that I could use to continue to enhance this man that is so excited about life at this point and so interested in doing so many things. I needed that help to make sure that I was going to be able to maintain that. And so as the show started, you saw that there was an introduction to a company called Envision You. And they have healthy coffee. They have collagen that I'm doing really well with. This collagen. I mean, like I said, you don't know how old I am. And maybe I was thinking about starting a contest to say, if you can tell me how old I am, I'll give you a product. How about that? But I do the collagen, and I do these different shots as well, energy shots to help me as well. You can tell maybe I'm a little over energetic right now, but this is the way my day starts. I wake up in the morning ready to go. I'm ready to do things. I've got so many opportunities that I'm involved in. People ask me, how can you do all of those things? I can do all of those things because my mind is open. But my life is just really happening for me right now. One of the other things in terms of Envision You and the products that they keep coming out with, they just introduced a new tea product, health tea product. Let me see if I can get that first one to run.
What if I told you there's a vibrant green elixir that's been cherished for centuries, crafted by monks, sipped by emperors, and now brought to you by Envision You. Step into Japan's mystical fields where ancient secrets grow. Discover the green glow of matcha and get ready to feel alive. Matcha supports metabolism, muscle recovery, immune strength, mental clarity, and calm focus. Real benefits, powered by real ingredients. You feel more focused, more alive, more in tune. Matcha delivers the whole leaf. More nutrients, more antioxidants. This is more than tea. This is ritual. This is transformation. This is a live organic matcha. Feel the magic.
Like I said, this is it's awesome, and like they tell me, feel the magic. I mean, basically, and that's a new product, and I don't have that one yet, but it's coming. But I do have their coffee. Their coffees are healthy. I have a latte. I don't normally drink lattes, but I love the lattes from Envision You and some of the products that they're providing. One of the other things too is that when you're feeling better and you're healthy and you got income coming in, you can start doing some things as it relates to travel. And so Envision You also has a travel component as well. So as you're healthy, you're earning income, and you can travel as well, and travel with a bunch of people who are all excited about life as you are as well. So that's some of the things that are happening for me. And if you're interested, reach out to me and let me introduce you to some of the things that I'm involved in. And if they help you, great. If they don't, I also say do your own research. Maybe my place is a place to start, but do your own research. And let me talk to you about the other thing that they're talking about, BioLimitless and the products that they're bringing to the table. They just introduced a new product as well. I don't know if you know it or not, but our bodies are all full of plastic. The plastic bottles that we drink water from in our day-to-day operation in terms of the things that we eat and the surfaces that we take, over time, you have a lot of toxicity in your body. I have another video that I'll run real quick, and I don't normally run this many videos, but I think since it's a marathon day, this is a special day. I wanted to introduce you to some of these other products and services. So let me introduce you to one of our detox products that the doctor just released as well.
It's Dr. Eric Napudi. I hope you're having an amazing day today. I wanted to share something with you that was sent to me by a friend of mine. How many of you have friends like my friends that send you TikToks or social media clips at like 1 or 2 in the morning and say, this is going to blow your mind. You're going to be so shocked when you see this. So let me watch this with you and let's have a reaction together. Check this out.
What about this? I've never heard of it. It's called microplastics. And there's a new study out there that suggests that we've got a lot of this inside here.
It's up 50% over the last decade, and recent studies have shown that it's clogging your heart, and it can lead to heart disease and strokes.
Microplastics are horrible for our health, and they're all over the environment, and they're growing. We have lots of exposures. They cause a lot of chronic health problems.
Microplastics, known to cause a series of health issues.
Microplastics, a word you probably started to hear more. They've been found in almost every organ in the body, as well as in the bloodstream. But now, for what seems to be the first time, these microscopic pollutants have been found in tissue in the human brain.
The average male testicle has 8.2 milligrams of microplastics. And the average brain has more than 50% more microplastics than we did 10 years ago. So the problem is bad and it's getting worse.
Brain samples collected at autopsies last year and in 2016. They found the samples contain an entire plastic spoon's worth of nanoplastics.
It's estimated that the average person consumes 40 to 50,000 particles of plastic every year. That adds up to about 5 grams of plastic every week, which is about the weight of a credit card. Imagine eating a credit card every week.
Plastics are concentrating in human brains.
It's an endocrine disruptor. The problem is it's measurable decrease in testosterone with males, measurable decrease in fertility with women, a lot more miscarriages, and it's all correlates directly with microplastics.
Listen, I don't know if this shocks you or surprises you. I'm not shocked and surprised by this. I've been a functional medicine doctor now for over 20 years, and I learned that the cause of the problem is the treatment for the problem. And if the cause of heart issues and brain issues and reproductive issues is all because of microplastics, heavy metals, or other toxins in your body, first we have to clear the clutter. I mean, step one, when you come and see a functional medicine doctor like me, and patients come from all over the world, and they spend a lot of money with us, $10,000, $15,000 to find the root of the problem and a plan to fix it. It's all about finding these little problems like this that cause major health issues. I'm surprised that it's on the mainstream media. I'm shocked that it's out there globally now. Finally, we now have some common sense conversations, and I want to share with you some common sense solutions for this. Here's what I want to do. Doctor is Latin for teacher. I want to teach you some things. I want to show you how you can help get these toxins out of your body and the bodies of your children. So I want you to click the link below, and I want you to get for free from me. I have a 45-day Dr. Eric detox protocol that I give to all my patients. Step one in getting any person healthy is clearing out the clutter, whether it's heavy metals, microplastics, parasites, whatever. We got to clear it out. I'm going to show you in a step-by-step protocol how to do that. I'll give it to you for free. I'll give you information on my Detox Pro Plus formula that has been clinically proven to pull heavy metals, to pull PFAS, to pull plastics out of the body so we can allow the cells to work like they're supposed to. And I'm going to give you for free access to a webinar that I did that literally holds your hand and walks you through the process of detoxification. Listen, I always say that knowledge is power, but wisdom is taking that knowledge and applying it to your life. So let's get smart. Let's get after this. Click the link. Let me give you some common sense solutions to this very common problem. And I cannot wait to hear your results. Talk soon.
Well, you aren't able to click the link, but if you reach out to me, I will make sure you get that information. I'll make sure that you get the webinar that he's talking about. I'll make sure that you get the 45-day treatment schedule and things that you should be doing in addition to possibly taking the product. But, you know, he gives you a program where even if you don't take the product, there's things that you can do to eliminate some of the toxicity in your body. And so I've got that on order. It hasn't come in yet. They've just released that product the 15th of this month. And so I'll keep you updated in terms of what's happening there. But again, reach out to me and I'll make sure that you get the free offers that he's making, the webinar, the training, and the information on the detox capability. Maybe you can see some of the things that I'm introducing. I'm extremely excited about what I'm bringing to the table, and I have other folks who are excited as well. You know, on my show, I do interviews as well. I have folks who come on who talked about the health industry as well, and so the next one I have coming up as soon as she comes back from Japan. Japan. She was called out to do a presentation and meeting with some folks in Japan, and so. I was going to have her on, but it was delayed. And so this individual, name is Daphne. She has a product that it's an insurance product that you can take advantage of and take money out of, put it back, and you don't lose anything. And over time, it builds itself. And so I'm just trying to show you ways of earning income or keeping some of the income that you currently have and increasing that. So I'll be doing both of those, the health perspective, and I'm continuing to look at health, the areas of health. A few weeks ago, I had an individual, Keith Davis, on to talk about other products, vitamins, minerals, and some of the things that he's promoting. Not only vitamins and minerals, but also cleaning products, shampoos, body washes, antiseptics to tabletops and those kind of things in terms of your house. Because you can be healthy, but if you go into a sick house, that is not going to be conducive to you staying healthy. So you need to be able to take advantage of both of those. Your health, your house's health, and share that with other people, because I mean, I'm sure your family would would really appreciate the fact that you're having that energy to keep the family going. You have that energy to motivate yourself and motivate other people and talk to your family members about being healthy as well. The issue is that we all have to check out at one point. We just don't know when that is. And so for me, I'm just trying to be the best I can until that time comes. Like I said, I got 7 grandkids, and what I'm doing for them, what I'm doing now is for them, so that I can spend that time with them as much as possible. It is such a great feeling to be able to respond to their birthdays when they have something, just a little thing, not anything expensive, but to hear that term, "Hey, Grandpa, we love you. Thank you so much." I mean, that's worth more than $1 million in terms of that. And my youngest one is 5 years old, and the oldest one is 13. And I guess you can tell that I love my grandkids. The other thing that I'd like to talk to you real quick before I get out of here, and I wasn't able to get the video up, but it's another product that helps you generate income over time. And if you're familiar with AI, AI is everywhere. Everybody's using some form of AI, one way or another. Administrative assistants, video products and services. It's just anything that you can think of. Artificial intelligence is going to be involved. If it's not involved now, it's going to be involved. Well, the product that I promote now is called Booster. And Booster is a product we call all-in-one. And the reason I call it all-in-one is because that's what it's going to be, all-in-one. So if you've got a business, or if you want to start a business, this product will be able to give you every particular function in your business over time. The next application that's coming out is going to be a shopping app. And the reason that we're doing a shopping app is because you as an individual can take that app and cash back, that kind of thing. And so use it from an artificial intelligence perspective. But also we're offering that to businesses, so business can create a rewards program for their customer. And so that is really exciting. And I've become part of that organization as well, where I have, like I said, become part of that organization as well. And so I'm waiting on my administrative assistant to be generated as well. So maybe one of these times you get on here and it won't be me, it'll be my admin assistant from that perspective. But I guess what I'm saying is that there are options and opportunities for you out there. You may or may not have time to find out what all of them are. But I can tell you, if you want to start here, I am here for you. I am here to do what I can to help support you from a health perspective and also from a financial perspective. In terms of being able to start your own company or be able to do part-time. You can work on the side, what do you call a side hustle, or whatever you want to do from that perspective. Or you can start a whole business and do that as well. Or if you've got a business and you need some products and services or equipment, I can help you get financing for that as well. So I guess what I'm saying is there's a lot of things that I'm involved in because my head is just full of opportunities and motivation and things that I've been able to work on and pass on and help people with. And I'm just excited to be where I am and what I'm doing now. So again, it's about being that individual, and so like I said, my normal podcast every Tuesday at 10 o'clock is more of just having that conversation about your health, talking about the different areas of improvement, the different things that you might want to take a look at, whether I have them or not, you might want to take a look at in terms of supporting your health. And then I bring to the table some of the things that if your insurance doesn't cover or you can't afford this, that, and the other, there's a way to start a business for free so that you can earn some of that side income, so that you can begin to look at some of those areas of opportunity from helping to improve your health, helping you stay healthy, helping you stay around a little bit longer, hopefully, in doing that. At least that's my take on things. That's my take on life. I've been around for a while. I mean, I was with IBM for 15 years. I was with Wang Laboratories for 7-8 years. I've been vice president of sales and marketing for different companies. My company is VM Enterprise, and so we're a business-to-business consulting company. We also support Plan B options, and that's what I'm trying to do now in terms of Plan B options. So the consulting portion is, if you need some things for your business, I can bring to the table individuals who can help you with that. Or if you need something for health, now that I can do that as well and make some recommendations, because again, I'm also researching those areas of health and wellness and health and wealth. And so that's what I'm trying to bring to the table and support you. So again, if you're interested in following me, if you can, check out my podcast every Tuesday at 10 o'clock. That's Werner Dixon, Prospering and Health and Wealth. And see if there's something on my network, or see if there's something that I can offer you that'll at least give you some ideas and opens your mind about looking at some things that you need to take care of. So with that in mind, I'm always open to supporting you. Whatever you want to do, give me a call, let me know what's going on, and I'd be greatly appreciated. In the meantime, I got a friend who always says, when he ends his presentations, he always says, the best is yet to come. And that's what I feel like. So you have a blessed day, and thank you for being here. Have an awesome one. Thank you.
All right. Well done, Werner. And the phrase that really resonated with me that you made during this was options and opportunities. And I think that kind of sums up your approach to business, is that you are always, and for many years that you and I have been friends, and we've networked together. I've seen the opportunities that you've presented. Options and opportunities, I think, is that's such a critical thing for people to embrace. There are options and there are opportunities out there, but you got to be willing to explore them. So I thought with the things you shared today, Werner, that you really encourage that.
All righty. Thank you so much, Guy. I really appreciate it. And thank you for the opportunity to be on the show today. I really appreciate it. It's been fun.
Yeah, we appreciate your show. And again, along with being a host at prconnectionsradio.com, Werner Dixon is also a sponsor. Envision You is an outstanding platform for you to get healthier. And I want to encourage you to learn more about the products that he has to provide, and along with the great information that he's sharing in these podcasts. Yeah, you're just a fantastic resource. Werner, I wish you nothing but continued success.
Thanks, sir. Everybody have a blessed day, and hopefully I'll see you Tuesday. If not, give me a call. Reach out. I'm here to help. Take care.
All right. Take care, Werner. Hey, the first half of our marathon is already coming to a close. It's really interesting how fast it goes. But hey, we're going to take a short break and we're going to come back. We've got more shows. We've got Talks with Toi that's still coming. We've got Vegas Hockey Hub. We've got Dana Does Voices. We've got the PR Connection Show. I'm going to be interviewing a new host on the network. So stay tuned for the second half of the Memorial Day Marathon, the third annual Memorial Day Marathon, brought to you by prconnectionsradio.com. We hope you've enjoyed the first half. See you soon.
PR Connections Radio thanks you for watching this podcast. Check out more episodes of this show and our others at prconnectionsradio.com.